Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Miggs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you as always for joining us. All right, well, we are recording this on a lovely Sunday evening. For those of you who may not know or don't remember, I drove to Phoenix, Arizona for the Navarrete and Valdez rematch. We were hoping we'd get credentials. We submitted for the application. Unfortunately, we got denied, but that don't matter because that didn't deter me. I drove down here anyway. And yes, I did drive because I do live in Vegas, not that far of a drive. I know you guys can't see my surroundings, but I'm still in my hotel room. I'm going to check out tomorrow morning, but I wanted to knock this show out before we do all that because we got plenty to talk about. Amongst many things, a nice little cerveza that I got here in my room. Wanted to get nice and toasty for this fucking show before we get crack-a-lacking, and talk about the amazing fights that we saw, because we saw some pretty dope-ass fights. Everything from the top rank card, the DAZN card, and a lot of other stuff we want to talk about. Things like Gervonta Tank Davis, things like Jake Paul and Chavez Jr. Plenty to talk about, in addition to the fights. But before we go into all of those details, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? Me over here, not drinking beer. I got,
No, right.
I
Yeah,
got
you know
coffee.
what? I got a 4 pack. I'm not that big of a drinker. I'm like shit. I check out tomorrow. I have two more. Let me kill them shits before I leave.
Yeah, no. So over here drinking coffee, slowing down this Sunday night. Get ready for work. Agree with you. Excellent weekend of fighting. Both on the zone and ESPN this weekend. Both fights delivered. So yeah, it was a good week. Raiders lost. That sucks. O'Connell, I don't know. Our quarterback got wheeled off in a cart. Yeah, he had like an air brace on his knee. I think that means he
Oh,
broke it. Yeah, I think that means it was broken.
wait, an
Something
air
was
brace.
broken.
What's an air brace?
Is that what it's called? What is it? An
Oh,
air? What is it? When they a cast, air cast. There you go.
oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
bro. They
shit.
put it on
That's
his
good.
leg. They put it on his leg. That's what I was working out because right it was halftime. I guess it
Mm.
was like early in the third quarter when it happened because I got back in from the garage and fucking he was just leaving and they were like, oh, they were like,
Just
that's
got
not a
here.
good sign. Yeah, air cast.
Okay.
Basically they bring that out and try to secure the leg when it's gone, when it's toast.
Oof. Well, I was gonna say he's out for the season, but I mean, there's not much of a season left, I suppose, right? For
Yeah,
and Oakland,
it was
right?
bad. It was getting bad for the Raiders. He fumbled another snap of the ball. You know, that's like pee wee football shit. You know what I mean? So well, it
Better.
started looking bad. Oh, dude, we had a play where we got an interception and then fumbled the immediate next snap.
Oh, the
Yep,
next step. Okay, I was
the
about to say
next
shit. Got
snap.
the interception and then fumbled. Well, still, it's still not any better.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
not
I
any better to go out there. Hey, even me, all my neighbors, I'm like this. There you go. There you go. All right. Hike. Fuck. Are you fucking kidding me? Miguel, it's that bad. You know, it's Jamarcus Russell times all over again. So hopefully we get a quarterback in the draft. You guys, Las Vegas, will see their first number one draft pick quarterback soon.
mm. Is that how it works? Like, shitty record, number one draft pick. Is that how it
That's
works?
right. That's right.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
shittiest records get the number one. You know, get the highest draft picks. The Raiders are gunning. I think we're 2-10, so we're right up there for first.
Damn. Holy shit!
We're right up there for
I don't
first.
follow it. I just like wow.
We're right up there for first place, bro, in the draft.
Damn. Top three picks. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this is what Las Vegas needed, though. This is what I kind of said when Mark first moved the team from Oakland to Las Vegas. I was kind of suggesting that they not take Carr, they trade Carr right away and maybe go for a homegrown. You need a new franchise, right? Yes, you're
mm,
bringing the old Raiders symbol, but Las Vegas wants to cling to something new. They didn't want the old Oakland Raiders. This is Las Vegas's first number one draft pick quarterback here. With the right marketing, it should bring in a bigger fan base with the homebred Las Vegas um, crowd. Um, if it doesn't, it's gonna be a while before you guys get a fan base. It's gonna be pretty sad for Mark if this doesn't work. But I think turning over a new team and bringing a quarterback, number one, look, they're saying, I don't know if you know about it, but Deion Sanders, his two boys, one of them's a
Yeah.
quarterback. Yeah, they're saying maybe they draft his son. So that would be big news, right? You'd have a
Mhm.
big media presence day one.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're right about like the fan base, because when we got the Golden Knights, I mean, granted, it wasn't already. I'm talking about NHL. It wasn't already a team. They basically, like, if I remember correctly, they
That's
patched it
right.
up. They got like players from a bunch of other, and then
Yep.
we made our own team, and then it became diehard. And I still don't watch hockey, but that I do know that especially with that pretty historic first season. Although they didn't get to the Stanley Cup, or at least they didn't win the Stanley Cup. I think they got to it, so that was a pretty big deal. But man, just creating our own, like Frankensteining our own fucking team with players from other teams. Got a lot of people behind them.
Right. Right.
So that's it's your weekend. I mean, yeah, it sucks that Raiders lost, but yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Did the Niners get a bye week today, or did they win
No,
already?
the Niners won. The Niners
Ah,
won, but they're playing the Bears. It's not really that big of a game.
oh, I see. The
That was one.
Bears.
That was one of those throwaway games. Yeah.
All right. Well, besides football, because there's plenty of that, we have plenty of boxing this weekend. As I mentioned earlier, that's what we're going to kick off the show with, because we like to talk about fight results. We're going to get crack-a-lackin' with the zone card first, or the zone main event, I should say. I always say card. I'm not talking about the whole fight card, but the main event in particular. Of course, we would like to. I guess give a shout out to our good buddy in Australia, Sam Navajero,
He's been
because
quiet.
he's been quiet. Yeah, he's been quiet. They still got the cruiserweight, right? The Opakaya, right? What's his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Still got him as a champ, because unfortunately Paro lost his what was it? Was it the IBF belt? I think it was that they lost. He was the IBF
Yes.
junior welterweight champion. Lost it to Richardson Hitchens. Um, quite the fun fight, I gotta say. It looked for a little bit. And by the way, I know we've talked about this several times, because sometimes we just don't understand why Eddie Hearn makes these decisions. They went to Puerto Rico for some reason. I don't know
Right.
if any one of those fighters have any sort of Puerto Rican people in their corner, or any roots or something, but they went back to Puerto Rico for some reason and hosted the fight there. Now, that is where Leon Paro got his championship. That's where he won it, of course, because he fought a Puerto Rican fighter, and he won it, right? So he kind of spoiled the fun for the crowd. He came back to defend it to that same country, and I don't know why. What was going through the zones or Matchroom or Eddie Hearn saying like, hey, yeah, that first time, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people showed up because the champion was Puerto Rican. Didn't exactly happen that way, but nonetheless, we have ourselves a new IBF champion at 140, which, by the
You
way,
got it, Miguel.
to get
Real fast. He fought Matias in Puerto Rico. So I was
yeah.
wondering if like Eddie struck a 2-fight deal with them, thinking they were gonna bring Matias right back, right? Because he was kind of the dark horse of the junior
Mhm.
welterweight division. Doesn't pan out, and Eddie's like, "Well, fuck. I got Paro can come back." It's
Yeah,
like the only thing that made sense, you know. It's like,
yeah.
what are these two doing in Puerto Rico? And obviously, you seen the crowd; they didn't respond good. They didn't have a, Eddie. You got to get rid of the first 3 rows. Dude, if you don't sell out the arena, give out to get the people that paid their hard-earned
Mhm.
money to watch your shit show and it was actually a good fight, but not in Puerto Rico. Obviously, the Puerto Ricans didn't think it was a good fight because they didn't show up. So the people that do, you got to bring them up, man. Fill it up, make it look at least live
Yeah,
in the front.
upgrade their seats. That's happened to me. I get there and I'm like, oh, here you go. And they're like, oh, we upgraded your seats. I was like, oh shit. Immediately I know that, they didn't sell out as many. But wouldn't that be some shit? Like, that sounds very logical, your scenario. Like they're always like, who you want to bring back? The guy who beat your Puerto Rican guy. Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we'll bring him back. That guy's not coming out, leaving the arena while it slash tires. But but he did leave the arena without his IBF championship. So, the fight started off pretty good for him. There was a couple of, I think the first round, it looks like Hitchens was doing well, and then it looked like Paro kind of took over the 3, 4, 5 rounds, and he was able to pretty much time Hitchens, and it got to the point where, man, Hitchens' corner really got in his face. Like, dude, enough of this inactivity shit. Start throwing your hands. Start letting your hands go. Literally, the very next round, he does the same thing. That straight right hand, onto
Right.
to southpaw. Man, that shit was low. And even the jabs. I mean, we say it often in boxing. The straight punches land before the looping punches, and not to say that Parra was throwing looping punches per se, but man, he was able to time it so beautifully, and he just didn't have an answer. He did not have an answer. He wasn't dipping his head to the outside, and he wasn't able to get it. And it towards the second half, or I guess almost like the ending of the fight, things got a little rough. Paro got a hard warning for a punch to the back of the head, which honestly wasn't that bad, but it was obvious why Hitchens tried to kind of make it more of a scene, more of a stink face over it. He wants a strong warning to be given to Paro, even though the punch wasn't that bad, because if Paro does it again, then there might be a point deduction there, even more in Hitchens' favor. But there was a lot of talk about one of the scorecards that was wide. I forgot the specific scores, but they had it for Paro like big time. It was like
117, 111, I believe, bro.
oh man, yeah,
Yeah, it was a pathetic.
that was so bad. And you've said it before. The right guy won, and we do think the right guy won. So, at the end of the day, he got himself the belt. But dude, that scorecard was so bad.
Remember Jose
But
Lopez? Was it Jose Lopez that started threatening everyone in the he said the referee was fixed, the judges were all
oh,
in.
Juan Manuel Lopez.
Juan
Yeah,
Manuel Lopez. Yeah,
yes.
I remember that
Talking
fight.
about betting and everything. He's like,
Yeah.
the judges are betting on the fight. Yep,
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was Puerto Rico. And
Yeah.
last night, one say, hey, you seen Richardson was like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? 117, 111. You definitely need to explain yourself on that scoring, man. But
Yeah, that was bad. I wonder if he had a. I don't know what the hell his issue was, and I forgot the name of the ref or the judge, but I don't know what in the world he was watching. I don't know if he was trying to. I don't know. Anyway, but I did notice one thing. I was like looking at the shorts of the fighters. Both Paro and Hitchens had like the Puerto Rican flag on their shorts. Just I guess some sort of tip of the hat, I guess, for the
yeah,
country.
yeah,
But kind of
respect,
weird.
respect.
But and then Berlanga was there, of course. He was cheering on Hitchens, and it was a fun fight. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I wasn't watching it at that moment because again, I was at that fight. I was at the Navarrete and Valdez fight, so I wasn't watching. I was trying to pay attention to both. But as soon as I got back to my hotel room, of course, I did bring my Fire Stick, plug that motherfucker in, and caught it before I went to bed. I didn't go to sleep until like fucking 3. Well, my time, because I am an hour ahead over here in Arizona. But so we have ourselves a new champion now. After the fight, and I'll get to you here shortly, Andrew. You can talk about the fight, but afterwards, the first thing that Hitchens says is Teofimo Lopez. I want Teofimo, right? In New York. He's from Brooklyn. Oh shit. Okay, that sounds pretty reasonable. That sounds pretty logical. You would hope that Eddie Hearn would catch on to that. It's like, oh yeah, New York. Not I don't know, shit, trying to think of another South Carolina or something like that will make absolutely no sense. But I'd be down for a fight like that. I'm down with that. And I want to say Hitchens is undefeated, right? He's still undefeated. I
Yes.
wasn't paying attention to the record, but
Yeah,
now he's have
24-0 and 9.
nice. All right.
No,
I'm down.
that was the other guy. 19-0 and 7, bro. 19-0 and 7. Yes, sir.
So I'd be down with a fight between Teofimo and, as a matter of fact, Teofimo now with Reynoso's, right? With the Reynosos, I saw him because he was in Valdez's corner, in his
That's
locker
right.
room, I should say, not his corner. So I'm pulling out, and I'll get back to you here shortly, Andrew. But I'm pulling out of the parking structure of the Footprint Center in in Phoenix, where the fight took place, where Valdez and Navarrete took place, and I'm leaving, and I see Teofimo there. I was like, fuck. And I don't want to stop because there was people behind me leaving the parking structure as well. I don't want to look, I wanted to roll down my window, and say something, but that should look creepy as fuck. Like, oh shit, this guy's just pulling over, pull up, roll down the window. People gonna start scattering.
Mm.
I was like, shit, I didn't want to start a trouble, but I saw him and I was like, oh, Teofimo. But anyway, Andrew, what did you think of the fight? What did you see?
Um, two fighters that I want to watch over again. I thought Paro put on a hell of a performance, even in losing his title over there in Puerto Rico. Um, it was an excellent fight. Early on, I thought Paro was winning. I was agreeing with the scorecard to DAZN. I think they had him up
Mm.
in like the fourth round or so, fifth round, fourth
Yes.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
they,
3-1, something like that was how they
yeah,
had it.
they had
Mhm.
him up. So I agreed with it. Yet what I was banking on or hoping for, because I'm always going for the American, is that Hitchens wasn't showing us everything, right? It was like he was
Okay.
almost figuring them out. In like the first few rounds, he's throwing the counter left hook. He's trying to get him with that left hook right over the jab, or countering the jab with the hook. Then in like rounds 3 to 5, it's the right hand. He starts bringing the countering the right hand. He was figuring them out. Then, like you said, the corner I think asked him to pick it
Mhm.
up, and then 6, 7, he's throwing both hands, and you just see it all come together in the ring. It was actually a really nice to see Hitchens graduate like that last night. But he really brought it together, especially at the end of that fight, of just picking him apart. Got his timing down. The counter
Yeah.
right hand, he couldn't stop. You know what I mean? Whenever he let his hands go, he was landing. But on the other flip side, Paro boxed his ass off, and he boxed with probably one of the best boxers in the junior welterweight division. Right? We all know, Hitchens is undefeated. He comes from a good background, American boxing, of course. So I'm high on Hitchens already, and Paro didn't embarrass himself. There was nothing he did wrong. He just got outboxed. Um, Got to tweak some things on his side, maybe a little bit more aggressive. Don't try to go points with Hitchens if they ever do rematch. But wouldn't mind seeing either guy come back. Liked how Hitchens responded after. Right, it's been a while since we've seen a dude take a belt with that much joy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Most of the time they act like these things are nothing anymore. So that was cool to see that he still had the love for the belt. Maybe that is gonna um, maybe he's going to be here for legacy. More about
Mhm.
legacy and less money, right? Because that's always a good thing for us. About the Telefimo Lopez call out. I like the call out, but just Lopez doesn't seem like he's on that level right now.
Mhm.
If you heard Lopez the other day, he's talking about he wants um, Boots, and Crawford.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
Absolutely.
that's a pretty good list. We already heard Tank say that he's gonna slap the shit out of Telefimo the next time he sees him. So they're starting that little thing there. So I don't know if Hitchens is really gonna have a if he's gonna have a chance at
Yeah.
Lopez, but it doesn't
A
matter.
dancing partner.
Yeah, I know they're both top ranked, so he might have a little avenue there with Bob, but he's also doesn't have to worry about getting an opponent. There's a lot of guys at junior welterweight, Haney and Garcia, both are going to be coming back here. They might want a shot at an IBF title. I think he'll be fine. You know what I mean? Cruz, I know Cruz is going to fight here soon, but if he wins that fight, he's still a big name. He would probably want a shot at an IBF title here soon. So, did you see Cruz at was he down in Arizona at all?
No. I mean,
Pitbull?
I didn't see them. Pitbull, Isaac Cruz. No, I didn't see him. I saw Telfimo there. Ugas was there, supporting.
They did a press conference this week. I thought maybe it was in
Yes.
Arizona. You see how fat he
Um,
was, bro?
yeah, I did see that.
What the
I saw.
hell,
No,
Miguel?
yeah, yeah, I did notice that, man. But I don't remember where they took place, that specific
Okay.
press conference. But I didn't see him. No, no.
All right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely Isaac Cruz is gonna be one of those guys you won't recognize when he's done with boxing. Your
Yeah,
kids will
like
be like, he
not seeing
fought.
him.
Like, yes, he fought. I know he doesn't look like it. He'd be like Prince Nassim, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna be like he fought at what? 130 pounds? 130 pounds? Shit. You know, I'm talking
Yeah.
about Cruz, of
Talk
course.
about talk about battling the scale before you're even planning your fight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Some better. Who is he fighting? It's not
He's
Valenzuela.
No, it's another Mexican dude. I forgot the dude's name, but it's another Mexican guy
Another
or
Met.
like Latino guy. Yeah, supposedly it's a tough dude, but I forgot the name. I'm sure I can pull it up here momentarily. But like supposedly it's not going to be Valenzuela. I think Valenzuela has like his
It's
eyes
on the
set on
PBC.
bigger.
It's on the Benavides card, or
It might be, yeah, on the Benavides and Morale card. I think
yeah, there
so.
it is. Morale.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so he's kind of out of. Well, I mean, he's still here. Mind you, he's coming off a loss, right? So he kind of needs a win here. I'm talking about Pitbull Cruz to still be to have his name mentioned amongst the title contenders and whatnot. But yeah, yeah,
And
he's
now Valenzuela, what title he's if he's at junior welterweight, him and Hitchison can get it on too.
yeah.
Yeah, let's see. He's got a lot of avenues right now. The kid has nothing to be worried about with just Telefimo. And to be honest with you, Telefimo ain't bringing in no money, right? You'll get some. You'll get a good name on your roster. You know, it's a great win, but there's no. It's not like you're missing millions there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that because that's the first thing that I thought of. I was like, Hitchens wants Teofimo. Well, I guess Teofimo's the number one. He's the number one guy in the weight class, so understandably, he's gonna want to go after Teofimo, but not really go after him for funds for money because it's not like Teofimo's putting butts in seats necessarily. I mean, maybe at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York or something like that, right? That little theater on the side, he'll fill up that one, no doubt. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight take place there, but besides that, we're not talking about pay-per-view numbers or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I get why Hitches will want to go after Teofimo, but yeah, I'd be down to watch that. But even if he doesn't get that, he definitely has a lot of other options at 140. I mean, all the belts are scattered right now, right? There's like 4 different champs, so it's like realistically, I mean, including Teofimo himself. But even if it wasn't Teofimo, because it's sort of like I guess one of the negatives about being the undisputed champion of a weight class is that all the belts are taken, right? They're all on one dude. So it's sort of like Canelo or something like that. It's Caleb Plant doesn't really have a shot at another belt. I mean, they just recently stripped him of the IBF belt. But I'm talking about if he had all the belts, you fight the champion once and then he beats your ass, and it's like, well, now there's no other chance of getting the belt because the dude's got them all. And at 140, that's not the case. They're all spread out, right? So,
Right.
it'll be fun to see these guys fight one another. Hitchens looks like the kind of guy who is willing to fight everybody else. Other champions. We'll see. Valenzuela, I think Valenzuela's probably be down to fight someone like Hitchens. Teofimo, where he said he kind of has his mindset on somebody else, right? But no knock on Paro, dude. Paro put on a pretty damn good fight. It's just he got outclassed. He got
Right.
outschooled. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it wasn't like he couldn't. Damn, for the life of me, his nose got busted. He could not get out of the way of that fucking right. Man,
Right.
it just once Hitchens got that timing down, he was stuck. Did you notice? And I don't know if you did notice this, and I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but during the well, I want to say I think it was after the fight. They were still in the ring. Hitchens had the belt on. I don't remember if they had already interviewed him at that point or not. I think they did, but it looked like him and his corner, his trainer, were kind of like disagreeing. Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't catch that.
So I was watching it, right? And again, maybe I misread it. Maybe I misread it, but he's talking to his trainer right after they just got done celebrating, and he's saying something. The trainer's saying something, and then Hitchens is like doing one of these thingies, right? And he's like kind of touching his shoulders, like his buddy's shoulders, like that, right? And then this dude, he's got glasses, right? He turns and he's like listening to him because it's like so loud, and he's like saying, and he's like, and then he like walks off, right? And then Hitchens kind of does one of these things. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell
Yeah, you
just
caught something
happened?
there. Yeah, you caught something.
Yeah, it was weird, and I was like, I don't know. And I mean, I know whenever you get a chance, go ahead and take it out because I'm like, am I reading too much into it or am I misreading it? I don't know. It just seemed like there was some sort of disagreement that they didn't want to discuss in the ring at that exact moment. But I don't know if had to do with who he was calling out. I don't know about that, but again, I'm just trying to like piece put the pieces together. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you caught that because I mean, I just left it playing for a little bit, and if you didn't pay attention, you probably would have missed it because I was like doing something else. I wasn't even really paying attention. And I saw that and I was like, what the hell? And then I rewound it. I'm like, did I just see that? Is that maybe could be that I'm
Yeah,
looking too
no,
much
when I was watching it live, they were just delaying the ESPN fights for this one to finish. That's what it really seemed like. Like they both, it was one of those bang bang things. So I just jumped immediately to ESPN and just left the zone running. Um, But yeah, I didn't catch the interview. I didn't even catch the call out from Hitchison because I was already into the ESPN.
Mhm. And I know that there was talks, at least preliminary talks, of a potential all Australian showdown between Paro and Cambosos. Now that Cambosos is with Matchroom, that goes out the window. That
Oh
that ain't
yeah.
gonna happen. So I mean, but regardless, we still have, even if he wants to fight him, still, I'm sure they still can. Now, granted, there won't be as much on the line because the belt is no longer there, but. I mean, you can still do an all-Australian showdown between the two dudes. I mean, why not? And even better this way because Cambosos coming off of the losses probably doesn't deserve a title shot, really, right? And even if, I mean, had Paro won, it'd be like, what? He's already cutting the line. He's moving up to 140 and basically skipping everybody and going immediately after a title shot against Paro. Now that Paro doesn't have a belt, I think we should make that fight even more. Shit,
Mo-
like,
maybe as maybe as a co-main event to Obatai,
mm,
one of his title defenses.
yeah,
I don't know if it'll carry a main event on its own right now though,
mm,
with no title, no undefeated record. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, co-main event. Yeah, I would like that as a co-main event or any undercard fight. That is a good matchup.
yeah. We can still make it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I hope they don't completely throw away that potential fight because I think it's still an attraction, even if it isn't the main event. It's still somewhat of attraction, and even without the belt, I'd still be down to watch it. So I'm down with that. So yeah, overall, the zone card was pretty good. We don't want to go into the undercard too much, but another top rank, or actually not top rank, another matchroom prospect loses his undefeated record. So the Castro, this dude, the Mexican dude Castro, threw up. It was a great slugfest, but he fucking loses. So there goes another top rank prospect. I keep saying top rank, matchroom prospect who was undefeated and is no longer undefeated. So uh, tipping the hat to Eddie Hearn with that one. Okay, so um, Matchroom, the zone, pretty good. Now we switch over to the fight that I saw in person. Navarrete and Valdez, the rematch. And as the co-main event, Robesi Ramirez taking on Espinoza, Rafael Espinoza in that rematch as well. Let's start with that one, with the co-main event before we go into the main event, because it was kind of a weird one, huh? Like, um, before before we get to the ending of the fight, Andrew, what were you seeing? Did you see? I mean, I know we don't often score like smaller fights like this. We usually score the bigger, more high profile fights. But who did you think was winning up until the point of the stoppage?
Espinoza. I thought Espinoza
Okay.
was yeah. I thought Espinoza was winning. He was landing the cleaner punches. It just looked like it was a matter of time before
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, he was going to start taking over the fight. So I was definitely leaning towards Espinoza when the fight got stopped.
Did you notice that they had Robesi Ramirez winning the fight? I think it was the ESPN. I don't know if it was Mark Kriegel, but ESPN I think had Robesi winning. He
That
was
was
ahead.
early. Yeah, that was early though, right?
I think I mean I could be wrong, but I think up until the end of the fight, I think
Oh
they still
wow.
had him ahead. I'm
Wow.
almost certain they still had him ahead, and don't quote me on that. I might have to go back there and watch it again, but I was damn near certain that they were
I
giving
will
round after Robesi.
I will say because of the height difference, they were doing a lot of the bullshit where as long as he Basie, how do you say his last name?
Oh well, his last name is Ramirez, but some
Ramirez.
Ramirez
Okay.
is
As long as Ramirez wasn't getting dominated, it was
Mhm.
almost like he was winning or not losing. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's doing so good right now. Oh, look at how he's dodging that punch and he's staying out of the way. The movement. And it's like, has he thrown a punch? No, he hasn't thrown a punch yet. Oh, okay, so he's just winning because he's fucking not getting hit. Okay, that's what we're doing right now. That's real. It really seemed like they were rooting for the underdog, bro. Even though the underdog wasn't doing shit. I gotta say, sometimes it's possible that they were playing us to make it a bigger fight for Espinoza when they finally Espinoza started coming on, bringing it. Maybe it was one of those things. But yes, I would say they were rooting for the underdog. As long as he wasn't getting punched, he was winning that fight.
Mhm. Um, did you? I it was. I mean, the fight ended. oddly, and we'll get to that here momentarily, but Espinoza was doing a crappy job at cutting off the ring. Like, he was
Yes,
not
totally
doing
agree.
that at
Totally
all.
agree.
He was letting Robesi get out of the corners, and there were a couple of times where I'm like, I was expecting him to let his hands go. It we can sense that it was only a matter of time. He was putting a lot of pressure on Ramirez, and it kind of, we can sense that it's going to be a matter of time before he's going to start landing the shots, harder shots, I should say, and probably stop him later in the fight. But if not, at least win a pretty solid decision. Um, there was a warning that the referee gave Espinoza about the elbow. They replayed a couple of different angles of what the not talking about the stoppage, but prior to that,
Right.
where it looked like Robesi was trying to clinch and Espinoza was trying to like push him off and kind of sort of barely like hit him with like a forearm. It was more of a brush. I didn't even see the elbow actually connect. Maybe I missed it. Again, I was in the arena. They had a TV, and by the way, I got my damn shoes stepped on, my white Van stepped on, trying to get in front of the camera because I'm right by the entrance where like the fighters come out. But every time a fighter comes out, everybody beats me to it. I don't know if you can see me on TV, but regardless, I try to get there and say what's up to everybody. But I got my damn white shoes stepped on. But so I was looking at it from the angle of where the fighters come in, which is basically a corner, and I was pretty close to the floor, so I wasn't too elevated. So I'm watching it from this angle, seeing like, oh shit. Well, I thought maybe I did see an elbow. I don't know. So I saw like the replay, and I'm like, I don't maybe I didn't remember seeing an elbow. So anyway, he gets a warning regardless. Espinosa gets a warning about the elbow, right? And then we have the ending of the fight that again, in the arena, we were all kind of confused because we didn't quite know what exactly happened, and I'm sure people watching at home were confused. Ramirez turns away, right? He kind of like waves his hand, says like "no mas," right? We can say that, and he goes into the corner, and the referee immediately recognizes it and says and calls it off, right? Immediately before anything else happens, and we're like, "What the heck?" When the referee approached Ramirez, he was kind of holding him in a way where I thought he was like supporting his arm or something, and I thought, "Oh shit, did he blow out his fucking shoulder or something? Like, what did I miss?" And again, I got the ring post in front of me, so I'm having a hard time seeing. And I see Ramirez's corner doing this, right? This motion like the elbow. And I was like, oh, he fucked up his elbow. No. These guys are fucking complaining, saying that he connected with an elbow. I was like, hold the front door. What? What elbow? So we watched replays. Granted, his eye started to swell right immediately, right underneath it. Ramirez, I'm talking about, and he says that he's seeing double vision out of that eye. Now, no knock on him. Hey, if that's, it could be something serious. We've seen it happen with Sugar Ray Leonard. We see it happen with Errol Spence. If it's something like a detached retina, that's some serious shit. So if he
Right.
has to throw in the towel, hey, more power to you, bro. If you recognize that shit, I don't have no problem with it whatsoever. There was a lot of drunk fans around me, like talking shit and a half. I'll get to that here momentarily. But from your angle, you watching it from TV, Andrew, what did you see?
Um, where do I start? There was so much to take in right there. Look, when the punch landed, I seen it immediately. Him turn away, him quit. Um, what I didn't know if it was an eye injury or if the dude was having a real mental breakdown in the ring. Okay, he's getting dominated at this point. It was kind of a no-win situation for him. The fight was just getting worse. So I didn't know if he was having some kind of head issues, right?
Mm.
He was nine. When I say nine, it wasn't Mike Tyson like, but he was like biting
Mm.
on his mouthpiece in the corner when they first
Like
stop it.
grinding his teeth or something?
Grind. Yeah, there you go. That's a better word. Don't know if it was nerves or what, but you could
Mm.
see him moving his mouth in the corner while he's holding on. I said, man, this guy could be having, he might be seeing going dizzy right now. Like, where the fuck's the doctor at, Miguel? No
Mm.
doctor goes to that young man for a while. I thought that was a total fumble on Arizona's part. Like, when a dude puts up his hand and says no, and he's a boxer, let's be real here, people. Boxers usually don't quit. That kid could have been seriously hurt, and every second counts when you're talking about a head issue. So I thought it was a fumble on Arizona's part for not getting a doctor in that corner fast enough to see what was going on with him. So that's what I'm thinking off the top is that it's a head issue. Someone needs to get him to the hospital. Who cares about the fight at this point? Because, Miguel, we're all tough until one of these guys die, or until one of these guys are in a coma, right, for 3 weeks, and all social media is doing is asking for everybody's prayers, and all everyone wants to write about is how we ignored signs, and there was signs, and we didn't do this and we didn't do that, and got to change protocol, and blah 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 blah. Tonight, ESPN's like, what a pussy, what a pussy.
Yeah.
Just watch the coward in the ring right there. I don't know what else I can say about that. I'm talking Kriegel.
They had no problem throwing him.
Oh, man. That was wrong, man. Hey, Timothy, got to give you a little bit of credit. You held it. You're like, man, we don't know what's really going on, you guys. He was trying to bring those two back. It's so weird because Kriegel's the crybaby too. He's the one that gets teary. No, I don't give a fuck. I say it to his face. He's not a fighter. He always gets fucking teary-eyed, right? Today's match, two guys coming from the streets, and that's it. Bro, but tonight, that dude's soft, huh? You're the hard ass. You're the world champ, huh? And then one of them, which one said, we paid money? Motherfucker, you paid nothing. Shut the fuck up. We paid money. Yeah.
You're the one.
Yeah. We paid money. Come on. What a joke. What a joke. It's never, we are just spectators getting the privilege to watching these men risk their lives. That's all we are. It's entertainment. If that man decides to quit, that's his decision. Don't come back. But don't call him a coward. He'll slap this fucking taste right out both of your guys' mouth at the same time. At the same fucking time. Little shits. Oh, they got on my nerves last night. Both of them, Tessitore and Kriegel, were both way off. They must have bet. They had to have bet on this fight. They seem so.
6.5 rounds.
Like, they should have just said it. I'll never bet on him again. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. I'll never put $5,000.
Timothy's like, told you guys not to bet. I told you guys.
Yeah. Right? Like fucking writing it on a piece of paper, like sliding over, like so you don't say it on national television. Like I told you, going to fucking Vegas before you fucking watch a fight.
Now, with that being said, Miguel, when I find out that it's just the eye, right? That there's not a head issue. He's not like, I don't know, my head hurts and I'm dizzy. It was like, kid, it's going to be a tough one to come back from. You weren't even cut. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even look like Billy Joe Sanders. At least Billy Joe Sanders' eye looked all fucked up when he quit. You know what I mean? I think it was closed when he finally called it quits. This kid's eye's not even closed. Look, he's calling double vision. I would choose not to pay to watch him fight. I'll watch him for free. But if this is the mentality you're going to have, because he didn't say head issue. At the very end, what I thought was going on was not going on. And at the very end, one, he calls it an eye issue. Two, then he blames it on a foul that never even happened. And I think it's possible that's where Kriegel and Tessitore got upset about, was that they kept saying elbow, and there were no elbows. It's like the phantom elbows. Like, dude, what elbow are you talking about? Yeah, the one around before. Nah, we already looked at the videotape. There were no elbows around before either. You're lying. We got one fucking clip of possibly a forearm, and that's about all you guys are getting here. And so maybe that's what they were upset about. That could have been the beginning of Ramirez's downfall last night, but I do agree with Timmy. It's going to be hard for him to come back from that. It's don't want to say he's broken, but damn, what else do you call it? Now, I will say it's not worse than Duran, you guys. See, people that immediately start with, and I'm not talking you, I'm talking them, ESPN with the no Moss bullshit and connecting it. Duran quit because of a man's skill set was just too good. Duran cried like a baby and was like, I can't catch him.
He took his ball and went home.
Yeah, I'm fucking done. Give me my ball. Give me my ball. Going home.
Yeah.
This guy had double vision, right? That's not the same no mas, you guys. So that, Duran, you're still the no mas king. I'll never forgive you. Well, I I think I'm in the room, but I have no idea what's going on at that time. I have
Right.
pictures of me. Yeah, Dakota, California. Hey, my grandpa had the fights all the time, so I'm in the room, but I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's fucking. So it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same, but hey, Espinosa's the real deal, man. 6'1". I think we said it last time. Him and Ray Vargas is gonna be a fucking thing of beauty, man. When these two guys get in the ring, have we ever seen two featherweights that are 6 foot tall?
Not in recent memory. Not that I
No,
can
I
remember.
cannot that I
Who's
can think of
fucking
off top of my
yeah.
head, man. I go pretty far back. Those are some big featherweight guys. Like this is gonna
Mhm.
be yeah, this is game changing for one of these men, at least in Mexican boxing, because both of them are champs. They both are pretty exciting fighters. I can't wait till that one gets off. And then what? Two divisions higher. I don't want to jump. I'll say it later, but go on.
Yeah, I jumped the gun.
Yeah, it's
Um,
getting exciting though. It really
Yes,
is.
yes, it is. Because let's not forget, and one of the reasons I like to focus on the featherweights as it stands right now is because one weight division south is in a way there's a if at some
Yes.
point he decides like, hey, you know what, there aren't enough challenges at 122, I'm going to 126. Those are some big motherfuckers he's going to run into,
Yeah.
in both Vargas and fucking Espinosa. So to briefly touch on what you were talking about earlier with ESPN kind of throwing Robesi under the bus, um, I was by I was sat by the entrance and that's where the fighters exit as well, and Robesi was leaving. Dude, look, I'm of Mexican descent, right? My folks were born from Mexico. I was born in California. There was plenty of Mexicans around me, right? Drunk as fuck, but I was around my people. They were the most ignorant motherfuckers, I swear, dude. As soon as Robesi walks by, they're doing this motion like, you got no balls, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you son of a bitch, we're about to get into a fight. And then Robesi's fucking trainer, Ismail Salas, comes around too. Dude, he stops. He fucking stops. And he's going back and forth with this fucking dude. Security has to get in here. And, Ismail doesn't give a fuck. He's like, what, fool? Right? So he's kind of like, what are you saying, right? Like, what are you saying? This dude is drunk as fuck, ignorant as hell, yelling all this shit in Spanish, of course. And he's understanding. He's like, oh, really? And he starts like mouthing off to the dude. And I'm like, these guys are embarrassing the fuck out of us. Stop, shut up already. Just let
Right.
the guy go back to his damn corner already. So he goes, and dude, these guys were just like all up on him. And there were two guys next to me, this fat dude from Tijuana and this other guy. They were like betting on Navarrete and fucking Valdez. They did it right then and there. It was just anyway, but it was the people around me were just obnoxious as all shit. I enjoy the fights regardless, but to add to what you were saying, yeah, dude, these guys did not like let up on that. As soon as Robesi walked by, because I mean, they booed him. I understand, right to the ring, right? Obviously, he's a Cuban fighter, so he's going up against a Mexican, so they're going to cheer on Espinosa. But damn, give the dude some fucking credit. He went up in there and he tried to do what he did. Now again, I will say I don't like the fact that they're really going hard on the elbow thing. I mean,
Right.
Ramirez's people in his corner talking about this elbow, and it just wasn't an elbow. If anything, maybe a slight forearm that basically grazed his face. Really, there was no elbow made connection, unless the replay that they're showing wasn't actually the right one. I don't remember seeing any sort of elbow, but I will say this: recently, a recent champion, Angelo Leo, was there. He's I want to say he's is he the IBF champ? I think of the featherweights. He was there, and he's another champion of the weight class. And I see him, and I'm like, oh shit! Well, he's here scoping out his competition. Whoever wins between Ramirez and Espinoza. So I see him off in the distance, like, oh man, I kind of want. I took a picture on my phone here. I know it looked like a creep. By the way, I sat next to Jose Luis Castillo, right? Like he's a couple of rows down here. So I'm like, I want to take a picture with the dude, and I'm like looking like a creep, like taking pictures, zooming in on my fucking phone. I didn't want to look obvious as hell, like I'm trying to spy on this dude. And then I see, Angelo Leo in the distance, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, fuck yeah. So he's scoping it out. It's a fun weight class. It kind of,
Yeah.
it has this
We're
Ismail,
also
but now,
missing. We're also forgetting about Figueroa, Brandon.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So,
he's gonna have a rematch with Fulton at featherweight here in I think it's on that same card of
Morale.
Morel and
Yeah.
Benavides. So yeah, we can't forget about those guys, right?
Yep.
Because I mean,
Yep.
dude, Figueroa is a freaking machine. He just
Yep.
throws and throws and throws. And I don't know how tall he is, but he's long and lanky too. Man, holy hell, that weight class is slowly like, I mean, I don't say slowly, but like kind of low key starting to make some range rumbles, like enough that we should be paying attention to it now. And,
That's
which is
right.
one of the reasons I got co-main event status on it. But, regard,
His Excellency should be
uh,
paying big attention to this division. This division could bring him a lot of entertaining fights for his cards. You know how he likes putting these cards together? The names that we are naming, Figueroa, Vargas, Espinoza, these are some action-packed fighters here. Definitely, yeah, there's a tournament here to be made. Even
yeah.
Fulton. I mean, you throw in Fulton, you throw in your Leo kid.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there is going to be some mix matching here.
Yeah, and not just for the general public, because the general public are gonna want to watch these kind of entertaining fights, but also for the hardcore fans. For
Yeah,
us, we're like, oh shit, we're seeing a unification over here. That's kind of a big deal for us. We geek out for stuff like that. So, um, pretty solid co-main event, very fun, very entertaining for as long as it lasted. Now we move on to the main event. Now, before this fight happened, we did talk about why in the hell is this fight happening again. We didn't know what the fuck it was, right? It could have been a personal favor for I don't know, Valdez, or it could be that I think that you mentioned this last week, Andrew, that Bob Arum just kind of. Like I'm out at this point. Somebody else is making the fucking decisions here. He's not really. He was there, by the way, as he always is. That guy's even still. He's there, but
on his
uh,
birthday,
oh, is that his
93.
birthday?
Happy birthday. Yeah. Happy
Wow.
birthday, Bob Arum.
and,
93.
and he's still there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
there's a couple of articles that are some posts, Instagram or tweets that we're going to be talking about here most recently in a few weeks. There's going to be some changes in Top Rank here shortly, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on because I have those fights on deck, but or those the news articles on deck. But so the main event, Navarrete versus Valdez, rematch or repeat? Well, I guess it wasn't repeat in the sense
Retirement.
that they didn't go the they didn't go the full distance, but um, the same dude won basically, which is kind of funny. We talked about this. Me and Andrew were texting somebody yesterday. The same guy won, but he ended up winning by stoppage this time. Same thing with the co-main event, which is kind of funny
Yeah.
because the first time the fight went the distance, Espinoza won. Rematch, Espinoza wins again, but this time by stoppage. Same thing with Navarrete and Valdez. Um, I don't know what Valdez could have done differently. There was nothing in that first fight that would lead me to believe that he can do something differently in the rematch. Valdez doesn't seem to really have a jab. He seems to kind of get like left hook happy. I mean, he always was like that. As a matter of fact, funny, I covered a fight of his back in the day. Like I remember it, as a matter of fact, the day before, it was a Friday, the day before Marquez Pacquiao 2, or no, I'm sorry, not 2, 4. This is before the knockout, right? The major knockout. There was a top rank card the day before at a small casino, and it had Valdez, it had Andy Ruiz. They were on the card, and I remember, typing up a report on this stuff, and I'm like, damn, Valdez is just left hook happy. He just left hook, to
Right.
death. And I'm like, where the fuck is this dude's jab? But I mean, he won, and of course, one of his biggest victories came because of that left hook and defeating Burchelt. That looked like that was his game plan. He was throwing that
Yeah.
left hook to
Virtual.
death.
Yep.
Yeah, Burchelt. Yeah, he was just, man. He was going crazy on that left hook, and it wasn't it was, I mean, granted, some of them were landing, but it wasn't touching, it wasn't hurting, I should say, Navarrete at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just eating those punches up, coming forward. I really didn't see what Valdez could have done differently in this rematch. And unfortunately, he gets dropped. Was it 3 times? Well, I guess the last time was for good, but he gets dropped in the first round. I forget what other round he gets dropped in, but it was towards the end of the round where the referee still counted it as a knockdown, even though he was kind of complaining that it wasn't really a
Oh,
knockdown.
he was
And then,
dropped. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so he was dropped twice, and then that last time was that
The
gorgeous left
knockout.
hooked, and it was, and I forgot who was the one that said it. One of the broadcasters, one of the commentators. It was um, very Canelo. He throws the uppercut to kind of like move it up, and then boom, and he landed, and Valdez went down and didn't answer the 10 count, and that sucks. Um, Valdez had, came in with a lot of motivation. He looked like he was very driven in this fight. Like you can see it in his face. Like this dude was coming for revenge, and we got the same outcome. So good fight overall. There's a lot we want to talk about in regards to this fight, but before we get on to that, Andrew, what did you see? What did you think about it?
It was Navarrete, the best Navarrete we've seen in a few fights here. Now physically, I didn't
Performance-wise.
performance-wise. There you go. Physically, I did not like what Navarrete looked like in the ring. And that's where I disagree a little with your saying I don't know what he could have done differently. Box, you know, use your feet a little. Hey, you're a professional. You're one of the best. You have one of the best trainers in the game, you know. Think of a better game plan than fire with fire. And you know, if I'm Reynoso, I'd be a little bit upset because if they did do this, maybe I'm talking out of line, and he did try to give Valdez a better game plan and told him to stay away and kill the body before the head, right? Let's work on that fat fucking
Mm,
tire around Navarrete
yeah.
before, you know what I'm saying? He's got to be soft down there. He's got to be soft. You got a tremendous left hook, and his right hand was landing on the money too on that straight right to the body. So I do think there's things he could have at least tried instead of just going in there and going fire with fire. Oh, this don't work. Oh well. And I'm not gonna say he checked out, but the man fought through a broken jaw for like 10 rounds. Shit was like, oh, I was all bleeding and fucking like. And then yesterday he's like, oh, my body shot. That was a good body shot. It was perfectly placed. I will say it looked like it was the liver area
Mhm.
that he did
Yeah.
hit him in. So, you know, I'll give Valdez that. But I mean, Navarrete said it in the beginning, man. We'll see how he is mentally. And then he
Mhm.
stopped him, you know? And I didn't like how Valdez looked after the fight. I didn't like how Valdez looked during the fight. I didn't like how he was talking after the fight. Um, I didn't want to see this Valdez. I didn't want to see Valdez has always been a very prideful fighter, right? He left it all in the ring. Used to take his beatings, walk out of there. I'm telling you, Friday night, I told the guys at the gym I didn't want to see him end on the canvas, and that's exactly what we seen. So now it's like, where do we go from here? Where you want your lights taken out next? You know, fuck
Mm.
the liver shot. Just fucking knock me out. And then not only that, Miguel, the fucking jaw. Like,
Mhm.
bro, you've had a broken jaw. What are you doing with your mouth that wide open? Did you see Navarrete knock the jaw, his mouthpiece
Oh
out of
yeah,
his mouth? Oh, I thought his jaw
that
was
that
toast
uppercut.
right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I thought it was gone all over again. Yeah, it's just, it's not a good look. I'm not going to say he's done, but it's over. The ride
Well,
is
you can
over.
see the body language. He just looks so defeated. Like he's like, I don't know how much there's left on that rope.
Yeah, and we all know that's a fast life. The game that he played, the 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 style that he brought, it usually doesn't last long in this sport, man. And so yeah, we've watched the decline. We've watched you. Your body is taking a lot of punishment, and now you can't make the final bell. I don't want to see what goes on from here. You know.
Hmm. Ends up with the lights turned off. Like really,
Yes.
really out on his shield, kind of thing.
Yes.
So, um, but for the time that it lasted, he gave us. Because here's the thing: when the reason one of the reasons why I said I don't know what he could have done differently, I think he tried to box the first fight and it still didn't work for him. So it's like if there was he tried boxing with Navarrete the first time around and it didn't work out. I guess by default he's like, well, shit, I guess I'm gonna have to go fire for fire, which is the worst thing you could fucking do. But realistically, what else? What else? That's why I was saying that, like, well, he came out with that game plan because, I mean, again, realistically, I'm sure Reynoso didn't say like, all right, bro, we're gonna go fire for fire with this
Right.
motherfucker. Like, obviously not, right? I'm sure he gave him some sort of game plan, and at some point he's like, I'm throwing this shit out the window, and we're gonna throw down. Um, for our entertainment, we sure as hell enjoyed it for as long as it lasted, but in the long run. And did you what was I was hearing something about his foot. Like I don't know if one of the times that he got dropped or he slipped or something, but one of the times that he hit the canvas, I think he hurt his foot or something like that. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know if that
his
contributed to it at all, but regardless.
it was one of those where his leg, I believe, got trapped behind him when he goes down. And I actually thought it was going to be his knee. His knee actually looked like it took
Oh,
a bad bend on this knockdown too, but it was his ankle that they were saying maybe he got wrapped up. You know, he twisted it when he fell down. But doesn't stop the uppercuts from landing, right? Didn't stop the fact that you were very predictable with the fucking lead left hook. That's why it really wasn't hurting Navarrete. He knew that was kind of all you had, was preparing himself for it. There was a couple of times that he did land the shot in between punches during a combo where it was like, oh, is that the one that's gonna change the fight? You know, but it just never happened. And then, like you said, he looked pretty defeated last night to the point where it's like, and I think I said this before the fight. Can we be done with Valdez if he doesn't win? And not only did he not win, he got stopped, man. So can we be done with Valdez on main events, going for titles? Like, can he have some kind of, either he has to start over again or fucking give him his walking papers? You know what I mean? Like, the guy's had a lot of runs for this, and it just seems like he's been losing a lot more than he's winning. You know?
yeah, and the losses have been, granted, they're not all stoppages, but they're pretty one-sided. Like
Yes.
pretty one-sided. So
Yes. Even
with the
Shakur.
two, yeah, exactly. Even with the Shakur fight, granted it was a lot more closer fight, but it was pretty obvious that Shakur was winning that fight through most of that fight, and then of course at
Yeah.
the very end, it was no shocker that he came out with the victory. Same thing with these two fights with Navarrete. Well, obviously this one because of the stoppage, but it's one thing for you to be like in these close competitive fights where it's split decision loss and you getting fucking mopped. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
what has happened in some of these elite fighters. It's I guess we can say he's just not elite. He's a former champion. He's like a really, really good B fighter. He's just not, the A list or the elite. Um, I don't know what would be next for him. I mean, like my, I was talking to my pops about it because I got back home, right? I mean, I got back to my room and my dad called me to check up on me. He's like, "How did everything go? You back in your room? You know?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And he was like, and my dad is the first guy to throw somebody under the bus. He's like, "Oh, he needs to retire already. Fucking call him." Like, Dad, relax, Dad, relax. But he's like already willing.
I haven't put my bag down.
Yeah, he like fuck real quick. My dad is just like, "Oh, that fucker needs to call it quits." Like that, he's 22. Relax. No, but no. But anyway, but yeah. So that's the first thing that came out of my dad's mouth. He's like, retirement, and they kind of sort of, I want to say they hinted on that, but when they asked him like, "Hey, what's next?" It's like, well, back to the drawing board. He made it seem like he'll be back. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna be back, well, make sure it's not for no fucking championship. It's not gonna be a main event. It's probably gonna be a co-main event. Why not? But I don't know where Valdez goes from here. But in regards to Navarrete, well, plenty of other champions in the weight class, right? There's other guys. Most recently, we saw Shaqy Foster get his belt back at 130. WBC, another top rank. I want to say a top rank fight. So, hey, that one should be relatively easy to make if you
Right.
want to go that direction.
Right. And
Um,
he was there.
oh, was he?
Yeah,
I
Foster
didn't
was
see him.
there. Yep,
Oh shit! All
Foster
right.
was there.
Yeah, I didn't see him there, but like that would definitely make sense. It seems like it's an easy fight to make, and it's a title unification. Why not? Um, you brought it up a few moments ago. Um, Navarrete's body looked like shit, man. He really looked bad. And the funny thing is, you texted me this during the fight while I was there, of course, and he didn't look that bad. Now, I said earlier, maybe it was the fucking micheladas that I had and the beers that I had in me, that he didn't look that bad. Like I saw him. Granted, when he walked by me, he had his robe and t-shirt. Obviously, you couldn't see it, but when he took it off, I legit did it. I mean, I wasn't that far, but I was like, oh, it looks fine, and you joked about it because the Winchell's sponsored
Yeah,
T-shirt that he had.
man.
That's like, yeah, that's just 24/7, man. The Winchell's, you can swing by the drive-through and get some damn donuts.
They're
And
paying
I'm
him
like,
in donuts, bro.
know, right? It's like we can pay you $150,000 or just like free donuts for life. Like our free donuts. Um, so I see him in the ring, and I'm like, well, he's doing great. He obviously is not losing. He's not running out of gas. And then I get back to my hotel room and I watch the replay because I like to see what I didn't miss. What camera angles or what I missed. I mean, what different camera angles I didn't catch. And then I really see the spare tire. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Now I remember him saying before. Some years ago, I want to say he was probably still at 126 at the time, that he kind of doesn't really diet. He just works out, and yeah, he kind of like maybe tightens up his diet a little bit to the point where like he makes sure that he makes weight, but he doesn't really have a good diet plan, and you can kind of see it. Yeah, granted, he
Yeah.
makes weight, so there's not too much we can complain about, but he has yet to miss weight. Or I don't think he's ever missed weight. I could be wrong on that one, but regardless, he looks soft as fuck. Like this dude literally had a spare tire, and it wasn't until I saw it on ESPN Plus, the rebroadcast, the replay, I was like, wow, this dude looks bad. And after the fight, he's like, yeah, maybe another couple of fights at 130, and then going up to 135. Bad idea. He tried it once, right? He fought that Denis Baranchek dude, and he didn't look good. He lost, right? That's why he moved back
Right.
down to 30 for this
Right.
rematch with Valdez. Um, he's a big, I mean, not say big, but he's got wide shoulders, right? He's long and lanky for the weight class, and him making that weight isn't really the problem. Of course, he can do it. It's whether or not he can carry the stamina with him, or he can carry the power with him at 135. Um, Granted, there's money fights to be made there, but we talked about it earlier, and if you want to touch on that again, Andrew, there is money for him to be made at 130. There are fights for him to be made at 130. No.
Yeah, I mean the names we just went over, basically, right? He could be the kingpin, you would say, sitting at the what would it be, the super featherweight division, waiting for the featherweight guys to come up. Um, Dude, if Inoue was to move up to featherweight, he looks like he has the weight to drop. Meet
Mhm.
either Inoue at what would it be, 122 or a catch weight, right? Or 126. They'd meet at
126. I think it would be
126. Yeah,
126. Yeah.
they'd be meeting at 126 or a catch weight. It depends on how big of a fight that would be, but there's enough names down at the look. Boxing's getting into a real unique place. We have a real weird future ahead of us for the announcement that was made by ESPN the other day, Miguel. And I know we're going to get into that, but you have to tie that into all of this because
Mm.
His Excellency
You're
might
really
have.
seeing a lot ahead with that.
That's
You're
right.
right. I see what you mean.
That's right. You're really starting to see that His Excellency might just have brought in this whole fucking package together. And if we get to that point, Navarrete, you don't have to gain weight. You're gonna have all those fights we just named. You're probably gonna have how this man's been fighting. I mean, we're seeing the cards he's putting out. What high names he can put on each card. You know what I mean? He has no problem fighting guys back to back. Yes, I don't think they've made the back-to-back date yet. I think both times that he did it, we've had an injury get one of the fighters out, but he's willing to do it if you're willing to fight. So the names that
He's willing to
that
fund it. Yeah.
exactly. So the names that are around Navarrete right now, as in the Brandon Figueroas, the Fultons, the freaking Espinosas, the Ray Vargases, the Inoues, don't gain another five to try to chase that money where when all those guys they're starving to go to 140, and you do not belong at 140. You barely belong at 130. Barely.
Mhm. Do you think is it just a matter of being a little greedy with the money,
Yes.
or is he just lazy? Like doesn't want to
Ooh.
stick to that? Because keep in mind, like I said it before, when he talked about this, when he moved up to 135, and they let him know. After the fight, after he lost, he was in the ring being interviewed, and they're like, are you gonna go back down? He was pretty stubborn, and he was like, no, I just think I need a better game plan. Yada. Like he just straight up said that shit in Spanish, and it's like, dude, what are you seriously talking? What are we in the same world right now? It looked like he was just stubborn. I think people got into his ear afterwards, like, bro, got to go back to 130. Like, this is not your weight class. It didn't go very well for you. The stubbornness is still there. Is it a matter of laziness? Is it like the dude just
We've
doesn't want to stick to that strict diet?
We've seen that in fighters before, right? We've seen fighters make the wrong decisions, move
Mm.
up to divisions they didn't belong in, and that was that. That was the end of their career. And it was like, man, if he would have just stayed, if Adrian Broner being one of the worst
Yes.
ones that ever changed,
Sheesh.
yeah, he just ruined his career jumping those two divisions, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, there's been others. I just lost two of them. I had two more examples for you. They just left me. Um,
Hatton maybe going up to 147. Did he not really need to go to 147?
Yeah, no, that's a very good one. Should have stood at 140. Yeah, he was never a junior welterweight. Hell no.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one too. So yeah, it's Sugar Shane Mosley should have never went up to 154. That was
Mm.
ridiculous. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And now we know he did it illegally. He wasn't even doing it naturally. That's how
Yeah.
stupid a decision that was. You know what I mean? Should have stayed at 147 and been the king for a long time too. He would have reigned there. Never. He should have took the Trinidad fight at 147. You know,
Mm.
he would have destroyed Trinidad. Trinidad couldn't stop that right hand. That being said, Trinidad called out Oscar. Did you guys hear that in Puerto Rico?
We did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
For that
yeah,
exhibition type fight, right?
yeah.
There's that
No, hey,
rematch
let's
going
do
on.
it. Let's fucking do it. I,
At this point,
who cares?
yeah, why not? I'm.
Yeah.
You think he's broke? He just kind of needs to,
Hell yeah, he's broke. You didn't hear what happened to him? He had
No.
to go. He had to go beg the Puerto Rican government for them to give him some of his money back. His best friend was his financial advisor for like I don't know his whole career, and spent all of his money, bro. Like the dude had like 40 something million in the bank, and it's gone. He literally had to go to the courts and like ask them to like not take his house or some bullshit, bro. But everything
Oh,
else is gone. Yeah, so he's on real
man.
hard time. Yeah, Trinidad's on. Now I don't know if he had shit to sell. I don't know. Maybe he was sitting on some necklaces that he could get off and
Some cars and something.
yeah. But no, there was a real bad story about a best friend taking him for millions and millions of dollars. Um, so no, he's definitely hurting. But it's and he's stupid too because Oscar wanted that fight for a
Yeah.
very long time, dude. So if
Mm.
Oscar does pull who was it that was it Juan Manuel Marquez that told Morales to go fuck off? Do you remember that one? There's a little beef between I think it's Marquez and Morales. They were Marquez wanted to fight Morales back in the day. Morales
Yeah.
kept telling him no, no. All right, so
Right.
you know
Right.
about that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Pereira up until it was like damn near necessary. Pereira was trying
Yeah.
to keep it down too.
Yep. So maybe De La Hoya goes, nah, man, I chased you for like 15 years. You fucking
Mm.
told me no. Now you want to, now you because you're broke. But who knows? Austria's a little whore himself. He's a little attention whore himself.
Yeah. Exactly. He's gonna want to show off his fucking fake abs and be like, "Yeah, guys, I still got it. Still got that left hook."
Suleiman will make us a belt.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The exhibition champions of 210 pounds or whatever fuck they weigh. Um, but
Oscar and his fake abs in the ring fighting
yeah,
Trinidad.
right, exactly. Him and his dumbass fucking fake pecs or whatever it is that he's got. But yeah, yeah, I did see that him calling out Oscar for that exhibition fight. It's pretty funny. Um, but overall, ESPN card was fun. The DAZN card was fun. The fights were pretty entertaining, and it's a nice way to kind of set the table. I guess the appetizers for what would be in 2 weeks now. Fury and Usyk rematch that we'll get into momentarily. Oh, real quick, did you see the what is it called? The trailer for the fight? Did you see that
Oh, that
shit?
was awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I was kind of on the fence about it. Like, I'm now I don't even know what's AI or what's fucking legit anymore. Because like they did one for Dubois and AJ, and I'm like, these guys are obviously not really singing. What the hell?
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was dumb. That one was
okay,
dumb. Wasn't
but
that the
this was
singing?
good. Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
they
yeah.
have this? Yeah, that one.
It was
No,
some. Uh,
this one was a lot better. I like this one a lot. This one was entertaining, bro. Cause hey, I didn't even think about. I hope it was them acting. I was telling whoever was watching it with me that these are just two world champs. You know what I mean? They're doing a fucking good job on selling this commercial right here. But you're right. Maybe it was AI. It wasn't even them. They just took their face. You're probably
mm,
right.
mm.
But yeah, no. I'm digging the commercial more than the concert. So if His Excellency, if we got a bargain here, I'll keep the commercials, get rid of the concerts, please.
Fair
2025.
enough. Yeah, exactly. No more hashtag 2025. No more concerts. Hashtag 2025.
Give
No more
out
concerts.
another car. You know how many cars you can give away for freaking Eminem's cost of him singing that damn song?
Jeez. I don't even want to count the fucking money, but
Oh, you see
yeah.
Eminem's mom died?
Oh yeah, I did hear
Yeah,
about
that
that. Yeah.
sucks. His wish finally came true. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being a dick.
That was
Do
his
you
most
think?
recent birthday wish. No.
Yeah. No, I think they made up. I think they made up at
Yeah,
the
they did.
very
Well,
end.
I'm sure they did after he fucking became a rich ass motherfucker. I'm sure they made up to some degree.
Well,
Him
no,
and
she
four other
tried. That
reasons.
was the whole thing. Was she tried suing him for 10 million? Yeah, when he first gets his platinum, that's like his second album is about him, saying "f you, mom," because she's trying to. She's like, "Where's my cut?" Well, my cut in the money. But no, I heard they made up later on. Hopefully
Yeah,
they did, because that sucks, eh? But yeah, rest in peace. I forgot her name, but she's gone. She died.
yeah. She had a different last name though. It wasn't Mathers.
Exactly.
They didn't have.
Yeah.
I remember they had a different last name.
Right.
But yes, rest in peace, Eminem's mom, and rest in peace, Vasquez. Israel Vasquez passed away. I don't remember if it was
Oh,
between
that's
this
right.
time or last time because they did the 10 count. I don't know if they did it on the DAZN card, but they definitely did it at the ESPN card. They did the 10 bell toll, right? A moment of silence for Israel Vasquez. Damn, that sucks. And I,
Did
I
you
knew
know he was battling?
I didn't know for sure, but when I would see him, because sometimes here's the thing, we got at back home, we have Dish Network, but we have the Dish Latino package. So we have like the Spanish or ESPN Deportes is called. So it's like the Spanish ESPN,
Right.
and sometimes they'll air fights there instead of ESPN Plus because you can catch it on regular ESPN as long as it's like ESPN Deportes, and they'll have the commentators, they're Spanish commentators, and sometimes they would have Israel Vasquez, and I remember seeing him and seeing how thin he was, and I was like, oh shit, I wonder if something's wrong. And I didn't know for sure, but he
Wow.
looked it. I know that his eye was messed up because of his final fights in his career, but I didn't know beyond that. And whenever I would see him, he just looks so thin and fragile. I was like, damn, something's got to be wrong because this dude looks really bad. Like one of the things that you really notice on people, especially I guess men, is the thickness of their necks. When their necks start to look really like thin and fragile, it's like, oh shit, they're sick. Something's going on. They're losing a dramatic amount of weight, and it's probably a serious illness. And I did notice that of him when I would see him. I'm like, man, he just looks so gaunt. And I suspected something was up. I just didn't know what the case was. I don't remember him confirming anything at that moment, but I kind of suspected he was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, no, big shout out to him for battling that. I know he's a fighter and a hell of a fighter at the wars that he gave, but he really battled that in the by himself. I mean, obviously his family knew, but I'm saying wasn't
Out
didn't
of the
make that
limelight. Yeah.
exactly didn't make that the point of the conversation every time he was in front of the TV. So yeah, just shout out to rest in peace to Israel Vasquez. Yeah, I was looking and one day I got to find all my pictures. I used to take I had a lot of pictures with all those guys. I couldn't I know I have Vasquez somewhere, right? But I couldn't find it. But yeah, no, it sucked. That sucked.
Yeah, and if you guys, I mean, depending on what age group we have watching or listening, obviously pull up the trilogy. They actually fought four times, but the first three are the ones that are like iconic with Israel Vasquez and Rafael Marquez, which is the Marquez, Juan de Marquez's brother. These guys fought in three hell wars. They fought four total, but by that point, Vasquez was really gone. His eye was already messed up by that point, I'm sure. But the first three fights, and not only did they put on three like iconic fights, like battles that you'll like, for the ages, for the annals of boxing history, but these guys fought three times inside of a calendar year, dude. Like between March to March, they fucking fought three times. When the
Yeah.
hell does that ever happen anymore?
Right.
Inside of 1 year, these guys fought three times, and each other, I should say. And man, there were some freaking wars. So Rest in peace, Israel Vasquez. He left quite the legacy with those fights, man. If nothing else, his name is forever tied, just like Corrales and Castillo, forever tied with Marquez in the annals of boxing history. So RIP Israel Vasquez. Okay, so you kind of brought this up earlier, and I want to bring this up now because of the odd circumstances that we're kind of in as far as like boxing goes. Check this out, right? This is a tweet from Rick Glazer, told by a quality TV/media source that Top Rank's last ESPN boxing show in the Top Rank Disney/ESPN deal will be Saturday, July 26th. So we're talking about 7 months or so. Also told by Top Rank, or I'm sorry, also told Top Rank will only have 10 ESPN dates in those 7 months. Okay. The Top Rank brain trusts are now working on a new rights deal with another media platform for a seamless transition to start as soon as August 2025. Now, that's pretty breaking, right? It seems like, all right, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel as far as ESPN Disney goes, or ESPN Plus, July 26th, July 2025. Yeah, I should say July 26th. 2025 is when it looks like it'll be the last event. And in 2025 in general, we're looking at 10 events, which is holy hell. Really, it's like 10 events, so maybe 2 a month for a couple months, and then 1 a month from then on out. So that's one part of the story. The second part is another tweet by Michael Benson. This was reported elsewhere, but this is where I found it. He says, Bob Arum has revealed that Top Rank are set to have a meeting with DAZN amid rumors their broadcast deal with ESPN will not be renewed next year. They've asked for a meeting, or this is in quotes, they've asked for a meeting with us. We don't want to be exclusive to anyone. We're going to have different packages for different networks and different streaming platforms. DAZN are doing I don't like, but is doing a great job in boxing, and people who run DAZN are friends of ours. I think it's possible. This is what Bob Arum says. Now, mind you, there was a point where Bob Arum was calling DAZN dead zone because of the fights that they were putting on that nobody was fucking watching, right? Now it's a different, that he's singing a different tune, saying that he's going to be meeting with DAZN peeps to see if they can strike a deal. According to that second tweet, though, it sort of sounds like he's trying to spread it a little bit, like he's not going solely with DAZN by saying, they've asked to, this is the quote that Bob had or said. They've asked for a meeting with us, right? We don't want an exclusive deal with anyone. We're going to have different packages for different networks and different streaming platforms. I don't know. That kind of defeats the purpose. I thought
It's
they're going to go
it's
with
a bad
DAZN.
idea.
Yeah, right. They're gonna go with DAZN. Holy shit, they already got Matchroom. They already got Golden Boy. They just signed a deal with Queensberry, and now we're gonna have Top Rank possibly. That sounds fucking pretty awesome. I mean, DAZN seems to be the place to be. What do you make of all this?
I think when they sit down with DAZN, a man named Turkey Ali Sheik is going to enter the room and offer to buy out Top Rank. That's what I think is going to happen. They're not going to allow Top Rank to take some fighters that he might want to another platform and have this carrot in front of His Excellency. His Excellency came here to take this shit over, and that's what he's going to do. Listen, Riyadh season's going to DAZN, you guys. That's where it's going. He just signed the deal in October. Where are all these guys fighting? Riyadh season. Where's Bob Arum's fighters fighting? Riyadh season. Right? That's all they talk about. So I think when he enters that room, he's entering it more. Maybe that's his negotiation. His part of him negotiating through the media is, we're gonna have platforms for everyone. Yeah, right. Okay, how much money does he want? Let's add another zero to wherever side of the check he wants it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But dude, this is getting really interesting. DAZN might have felt themselves in a really good place here, where their first girlfriend, Eddie Hearn, really fucked them up. But their new girlfriend, she's got a real good job. She's coming in like Eddie was. Eddie, all he did was put him in debt, bro. Just spent money. Checks are all
Yeah.
fucking maxed out.
Like, take me out to dinner, please. Take
Yeah,
me out to the
exactly.
movies. You're gonna.
Thought he had
Mhm.
Canelo and Joshua, so he had like real big boobies. That's what he was.
Right.
Which fucking
And someone's like keep out. Yeah, that's good. And it's like, no, that's not. He totally came in with. It was like, no, they were just stuffed with they were stuffed with Kleenex. They weren't real titties.
found out they were fake
That's
ass
pretty much.
titties with some bad silicone shit. So now,
Yeah.
so
And
now
the
his
girl
new
had a
girlfriend,
makeup.
his new girl, and I hope His Excellency don't get mad at us talking, describing him as a woman. But
Ah,
you know what we're doing, Miguel. We're playing around. But anyways, he's got money. He's got money. He's got everyone lining up. He's already got basically all the fighters in line with him. Like I said, when you hear these guys talk more and more, they're literally like, "Oh no, you got to talk to His Excellency," and I'm like, I've said it before on the show. You guys have all heard it. Like these dudes are signed to other companies, yet they're already saying you have to talk to His Excellency. This is not a good picture for all the other promoters involved. And now they're all somewhat finding themselves on the same platform. This is a beautiful thing for us. Boy, this might get really nice for us with all the content that they're going to be able to have on DAZN if all the promotional companies are there and willing to work together. You already heard the 5 for 5 between
mm,
Queensberry, um, Matchroom, Golden Boy, and Top Rank. His Excellency said he wants to do that. His Excellency said he wants to have the oldest heavyweight champ in the world. Did you hear this one? He's
yeah,
trying to get.
Klitschko come back.
He's trying to have
Yeah.
Klitschko come back right now. Yeah, just just weird shit, man. But seems like it's heading to the right place. This is what we wanted. This is what all boxing fans really wanted, and I think the fighters kind of want because it kind of puts them in a better negotiating. If they're all on the same platform, there is no A side, right? There will be an A side as far as a fighter will be more marketable as another, but it's not like I wish I was with HBO, but I'm only on Showtime. No, you can start talking now. We're all on the same platform. Yes, the split is still going to be heavier for him because he's the more known fighter. He has a bigger thing, but at least we're over the well, you're on the wrong side of the street. No, now shit. When you get that call, can you imagine them like His Excellency called? Yeah, he's got to fight for you. You probably can't deny this shit anymore. You know what I mean? You're just
Mhm.
gonna take that call and fucking say thank you and move on with your day. So this is what we wanted. This is a good thing. Yeah, and I don't think Top Rank's going to be on multiple platforms. To be honest with you, Miguel, we've tried the multiple platform things. It is not working. I got to say, I don't think it's working for the NFL either. The NFL is doing that. They're going through the same bullshit boxing try to do. You got to go to Prime for Sunday Night Football. You got to go to CBS, NBC, Fox, ESPN. You got all these different places to watch a freaking game. It's like, man, does the average fan really do all that? And I'm hearing more and more. Hell no. If it's fucking Cincinnati versus fucking the Chargers, I'm not gonna go open up my Prime app to watch that bullshit. If it's not just on a press button on the remote, I'm not doing it. So I'm that way. I'm definitely that way, man. I'm not searching for these bullshit games. And I gotta say, boxing went through the same thing where there was a lot of fans like, yeah, I like boxing, but I mean, Jesus, you gotta like study the TV guide to find these fights nowadays, you know?
Mhm. So is it? And you kind of touched on it briefly because I wanted to actually say it. It looks like His Excellency is the new HBO.
Yes,
He is the new HBO.
yes.
I was gonna say the Zone is the new HBO, but it's not really the Zone. It's His Excellency in particular. He's the one that's like kind of making these fights happen and funding it. And having the budget for it to have these. Well, up until now at least, because if this does turn out to be the case, and we have Top Rank come over to the Zone, then it would be the equivalent, the closest equivalent to what HBO was, or even Showtime. I mean, because I know Showtime is already out of the game, of course, but PBC would be basically the only other promotion that's kind of floating around out there that has some fights still going on, and still some superstars with Tank. Just superstar, I guess, just the only, the only one.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, that would be the only other guys. And how soon before they fucking throw in the towel and say, all right, I guess PBC. Well, I guess they just signed a deal with Amazon, so I guess they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. I assume. Um,
They need
anywhere.
opponents. They need opponents.
Yeah, that's true.
And if everyone's going with Tank is going to be soul searching here in a minute. Well, I know he said he's almost done with the sport, but yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to get an opponent here soon if everyone's signing over there. He's definitely going to be on the wrong side of the street. I guess we got one guy still on the wrong side of the street, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
But it's going to be him looking into the fucking window like, hey guys, can I get it?
Wouldn't that be full circle though for Al Heyman? Wouldn't that, like, all of a sudden it's just him? They're like, nah, Al, you're on the wrong side of the street, buddy. No, fuck you. Remember you didn't want to work with us? Close the doors. Bam, you're out.
Good luck with that fucking Roach and and Tank pay-per-view. You see how many fucking pay-per-view buys that shit gets on your own, guys, because you're all on that side of the fucking street. Yeah. And we do have a bit of a story on that a little bit later on, but yeah, I just wanted to think about before we touch into that story, the possibilities. And here's the thing. Sometimes I mean, there are times where I'm okay with it, and there are times where I'm like, is it the best? Generally speaking, it's probably better for the overall health and well-being of the sport to be on one platform like that, like the Zone, right? And I tried to picture what it would be like for, let's say, to the way, like, sometimes there are cards like there was on Saturday, ESPN Plus. We had the Top Rank card, and then the Zone we had the Matchroom card. Let's say, for the sake of argument, two promoters are going to have a fight on the same night, the way it happens pretty regularly. You'd have to pull up like the Zone like twice. I mean, you have to like exit out of one. I mean, you do it anyway, I guess, going from one app to the other. But basically, that's how it would be, because I mean, I doubt just because they're all on the same platform or streaming service with the Zone, I doubt that is going to keep them from having fights the same night. Like,
oh yeah, no, you're totally right on that. Before it's all one global thing, if it ever gets there, you're definitely right. You'll be seeing guys put on fights for Rehab season, but in their different countries, their own areas. Las Vegas for Top Rank, UK for Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and them. So yes, I totally agree with you on that side. My thing is, Bob Arum will not be a secretary for His Excellency. He's 93 years old. He's made all of his money in this sport. I think when they do, look, we have to remember, Top Rank and Top Rank Top Rank and Golden Boy already signed with the Rehab season. They signed earlier in the year. Inoue's already been linked to this guy. Tyson Fury's already fought for him. Anderson's already fought for him. We seen him just do the Latin night with all of De La Hoya's guys the other day. It's already happening. He's already taking over their stables. Yes, they're going to be event planners.
Yes.
You know, here's your planning.
Like
here's your little book. Here's your little calendar book. Here's some cards.
Let me know what day of the month you want to.
That's right. Some cards. That's my number's on the back. You tell them if they want to talk to the boss, my number's on the back. But you do good, Oscar. Now go back to LA and I'll give you some money. You put on some fights. But that's what they are. They're wedding planners now. They're Jennifer Lopez, the wedding planner. So but I don't see Bob doing that, man. I see definitely Eddie and Oscar doing it because they're too fucking young. They don't have a retirement plan. Boxing was their retirement plan. So that's why I think Oscar is going to accept the Trinidad fight. I think he will be fighting Trinidad here soon, and yeah, he's probably going to be a errand boy for Riyadh season here. Like we were talking about, they still have to build fighters, right? So His Excellency will probably buy them a house if they build the right fighter or some shit. You know, like
Yeah.
the gifts are going to be out of this world. Well, they're still going to be interested. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's like, you want diamonds? I'll buy your girl a diamond. Go make me a fighter.
Yeah.
Go now. You're bugging me.
Yeah. Go play. Go play outside.
Go play.
Go outside. Get dirty. Go have fun with the bugs. Uh,
Ay, ay, ay.
but that
Our
is crazy though, huh?
yeah. Our what is it? What is it? Our thoughts on this man are not that. We must have a real bad view of what rich Saudi Arabia men act like, eh? I'm sorry, bro.
Wait. We no. I mean, we only have, mind you, there's been some odd stuff about, like, I think I might have sent it to you. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick on our fucking Instagram conversations. But there are some times where I'm like, this dude doesn't. He doesn't. What's the word?
You ever seen Mr. Deeds, bro?
Bits
With
and
Adam
pieces of it.
Sandler?
Yeah, I know what movie it is, but I don't think I've
There's
seen
a
it in its
scene where
entirety.
all the rich guys are making the maids hold on to the fucking like the curtains to see who can hang on the longest. And they're betting on them. That's what I think he does with the promoters, bro. I think
Uh,
that's what their future is gonna be here soon. He's like, I got a bet. Me and my friends got a bet. All of you guys jump on the rope.
Well, look, this is, and I'm looking for the specific clip. I don't know, I can't seem to find. I'm looking in it for our text conversation that we have, but I'm sure to pull up here momentarily. But anyway, His Excellency was on like a show with Ariel Helwani, who's like a very popular
Yeah,
MMA dude. Um,
right.
you know, journalist, and I want to say somebody else was on there. It was one of the DAZN guys. I forget the guy's name, but the English guy, the black English dude. I forget what his name
Okay.
is. Anyway, they're having like a
Went over
three-way
to
conversation.
Showtime. And that was a real bad idea for them. Or no, they
Oh,
come from Showtime on.
they come from
Maybe they
Showtime. Yeah, they
come
come
from
from.
Showtime. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
but they were having like some sort of three-way conversation, and every time that one of them talked, like His Excellency would talk over them, and he just won't stop talking. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this dude is socially awkward, man. Like he
Right.
doesn't read the room. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have these kinds of manners because everybody has manners for him. He doesn't
Right.
have manners for everybody else, you know. And just watch. And I wish I could pull up the here, but it's like Ariel and this dude and His Excellency are having this like three-way call. But every time Ariel tries to say something, the dude starts talking. He's like, and you know, and he like gets interrupted. Even the other dude, the black dude, I kept trying to remember his name, the English guy, he gets interrupted all the fucking time by His Excellency. He just talks because everybody stops talking when he starts talking. You know what I'm saying? So we can joke that it's like, well, this guy probably has these funny fucking, like, you know, probably has action figures like, all right, which De La Hoya here and Top Rank here, and he fucks around with them, right? It's like, yeah, probably, because that's kind of the impression that we get whenever we see him in public or whenever we see him interact with Oscar or interact with Ariel Hawani or Eddie Hearn. Like that's kind of the way it comes across. I'm not entirely sure if he sees that, but from us who have to have manners, probably know, you know, there's a certain way that we speak to elders and stuff like that, right? That, like, he doesn't have any of that. He just fucking talks, and people just shut up when he opens his mouth, and that's just, you know, how he's used to it. But yeah, I mean, we could. I'm sure he does have something along those lines because that's the impression that we get when we see him talk to other people and stuff like that. But yeah. But anyway, that's an interesting take. Like, I don't know how it's gonna be. How, like, you know, with everybody, like it would be everybody on DAZN, it would be so fucking easy. Like I would probably get rid of my ESPN Plus. Well,
Oh,
no, there's still UFC on there, so I'd probably still keep it on there. But the
and
UFC
like
has
I,
some
and
partnerships.
like I said, oh yeah, yeah. No, I would probably. It would be hard to keep it. ESPN would definitely have to like cut back on their price because
Mm,
they don't bring a lot more for me. You know, I'm
okay.
not a baseball guy. I'm not a college basketball guy. I'm NFL
NBA?
and boxing. You know, no,
No
I'm really
NBA,
not.
no.
And NBA is really not even on there. The Warriors, they're local. You know, so I get a
Mm,
lot of the Warriors on local television. I don't really need ESPN for that. Um, so yeah, no, it would be kind of It would be interesting. I would have to think about, do I even need ESPN at that point? Because to be honest, with the Raiders out of Oakland, my drive to watch NFL football here lately just isn't there anymore. So yeah, I would really have to decide on whether ESPN stays or not, and just go ride strictly with DAZN, because obviously I'm gonna have to buy better TVs, because my TV still
Yeah.
doesn't work with the. Hey,
Mhm.
my computer does though. My computer's perfect with DAZN. It's like really weird.
Well, your
So
computer's, I mean, not much newer than your TV, right? Your TV is
yeah,
pretty old.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's like, it's like nothing. I don't know. I didn't know my TV was that old. Jesus.
Yeah, just,
Gotta
I mean, just get,
gotta
or like, do you, or get a Fire Stick, because that's a new thing. Like that's how I do it. I mean, I can pull it up because every TV is a smart TV now, basically, right? So you can actually pull up these apps on the TVs themselves, or you can get a Fire Stick or some other Roku or whatever, and plug that motherfucker in, and then that will do it. So if you don't want to necessarily get a new TV, by all means, you don't have to, but you probably would need a Roku or like one of those Fire Sticks, because that's probably the solution, and you won't have as many problems with the zone, because it happens. I mean, I have a problem with ESPN for some fucking reason. I don't know. Even with my Fire Stick, that one seems to be acting up for some reason. But yeah, or just get a new TV. You can get a new TV, but get a nice
I
upgrade.
know, I know.
So yeah, that's interesting. But we did touch on it a couple of moments ago. One, Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's go ahead and talk about this, please, because you mentioned it, and you did leave me like a voice message. But check this out. Rick Glazer, our good buddy Rick Glazer, on Twitter says, very interesting development at Tuesday's Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach press conference. This is earlier in the week. Besides the fact that it started 4.5 hours late, I don't know what that's. I don't know what
Fucking
that's about.
insane.
Um,
Who waited that? Would you have waited that long as a media member, Miguel?
uh,
4.5 hours, bro.
yeah, I mean, I'm new to the media space, so I probably would have, because I'm a fucking nerd. But people who are more established, like
Do
Dan
you
Rateful or some shit, they'd be like,
do
"Fuck
you
this, I'm out of here."
Hey, bro, do you really think they came out and told people he was going to be 4 hours late? Or did they just sit there for fucking 4.5 hours waiting for him to come?
I think they didn't say shit, because
Right?
if they came out and told them, that people would bounce. They wouldn't stay there, and they'd be like, "Man, fuck this dude. Who does he think he is?"
I'll come
Um,
back in 4 hours.
yeah, yeah. So he goes on to
Fuck.
say, Leonard Ellerbe was not in attendance, nor was any nor was any trainer for Tank. All right, so his trainer was there either. So
Calvin?
the huge question, yeah, the huge question, Mark, is there trouble in the Tank Davis camp, or is it just a very low budget press conference to put on by PBC? I'm really not sure. So that supposedly is what's going on. Right, that was the first one. All right. You sent me a message while I was driving to Arizona, so I wasn't able to answer when you gave me a call. But all right, previously, because I was getting ready, I think it was on a Thursday. I was packing my shit, making sure I remember everything, because I have this bad habit of forgetting a belt. Whenever I travel, I always travel comfortably, so I have like sweats on, or shorts, fleece shorts, so I don't need a belt. But I forget that when I'm at the damn place, I wear jeans and I fucking need a belt. So I always forget to wear to pack a belt. So I'm like, oh, let me just try to. So I was, making sure that I remember everything. And then you called me, and you told me like, hey, about this Tank thing with El Leonard not there, and yeah, I have the message here. But if you can remember how you told me, or how you left the message, Andrew, how exactly did you word it? Remember how you worded it?
Well, I was basically just saying, do you think he's blaming Leonard for him not being a household name, him not making the 35 million that he told us he just signed with Prime? And so yeah, is that where yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
leaning
Well,
to.
well, it's going there. But if he's blaming Leonard, what would he do with Leonard in the end? He
Fire him.
tossed him off tires out to the
Yeah.
side. So what
Yeah.
does Rick Laser post afterwards?
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. Hearing from hearing from several sources, Leonard Ellerbe has been jettisoned. I'm not sure what that word means, but I think it means booted
Yeah.
by Tank Davis, and no longer has any affiliation with Tank. This is
Wow.
definitely a step in the right direction for Tank. Ellerbe has a way of landing on his feet. He'll probably end up at PBC right next to Steven Espinoza. That's what he said. So according to what Rick Glazer is saying, you pretty
Wow.
much hit the nail right on the fucking head. It looks like, and this word here pretty much means that. I mean, I've tried looking it up here, but essentially what this fucking means is to throw away or to drop. Pretty much
Yeah.
is the definition of the word jettison. So this was before. I mean, I'm sorry. This was after your message. After you hit me up, you're like, dude, do you think he's not there because he like let his ass go? Like, he's blaming him for not making him a household name the way others have been, and he probably like says, all right, I'm trimming the fat at this point. Get out of here. And then I see this tweet from Rick. It's like, oh shit, he's hearing from several reliable sources. It seems like you hit the nail right on the head with that because this is what I'm reading. Um, I don't know. This is,
You
I mean,
got to think,
this is what
man.
like.
It could have been percentages. What if Leonard was going to take a percentage of his check because he like a finder's fee, but it's only 2 million. What do you mean you're taking 10% or 20% of my 2 million? Well, if I gave you that deal when I was worth 35 million,
Yeah.
right? So and then he was like, "Well, contract. Eesh." Yeah, look, Tank is, and you know why else I thought that too is when you watch the press conference, bro, he's going through something. Look, they ask, "Where's Calvin, his trainer? Where's Calvin? Where's Leonard Eller?" And he looks at the guy and he's like, "Oh." Just real, you could tell. Something's not. He fired them
Doesn't want to answer the
both, or
question.
yeah. Um, so and then I'm gonna retire. Then he starts with
Mhm.
that bullshit. Well,
Yes.
I'm out of here in 2020. Listen, people, Tank Davis ain't fucking going anywhere. The guy bought a $500,000 necklace like 2 years ago. He still owes on that shit. He hasn't paid that thing off yet. He still with that, the houses, the lawsuits, the court fees, the lawyer fees. Get out of here. He's had one good fight. You think he paid off all of his debt and bought all of the shit in the last year or so, a year and a half that he fought Ryan Garcia? Bullshit. He probably still owes taxes on that fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys aren't going anywhere, bro. He's not going anywhere. He's full of shit with the whole I'm gonna retire. That's a little nugget that Floyd Mayweather probably gave all of these guys.
Mhm.
Oh, you want to make yourself more marketable? Tell them you're gonna leave, man. They fucking hate that shit. Unfortunately, he has no platform. He has no money. His market is this big. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Tank, hopefully his ego doesn't get the best of him and he retires just because he doesn't want to go apologize to Mr. Ali Sheik, right? But eventually, he's going to have to find his way into that office and work a deal out to start fighting the guys that are all over there fighting already, right? You're going to have to join the crowd or you're out. Right now, it sounds like he's taking the fuck it, I'm out then.
Yeah, he's gonna retire the way Teofimo retired, the way Shakur retired, like all of them retired, right? Like that's how you're gonna fucking retire, because that was the second part of the story. It's number one, this shit going on with Leonard and Kelvin and his trainer, and then also this fake ass fucking retirement. Because that was one of the questions I was gonna pose to you. It's like, come on, is this guy really gonna fucking call it?
Yeah, no, that
Clearly, I highly doubt it. But you just hit the nail with all of his other debts.
yeah, there's no way. There's absolutely no way he retires. I know he's not financially stable to walk away from the sport yet. He spent way too much money when he wasn't making enough. So no, he'll be here. He'll be back. Basically, this is going to be a divorce, from ugly divorce from the PBC if this Roach fight don't go work out. I mean, bro, if they don't make the money back on to even pay him 3 million, they
Well, they're not.
excuse me,
Uh, I mean, we can pretty much guarantee that they're not gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already
right?
been postponed once before, right? It's gonna
Right.
come through. Whatever money they are gonna make, they're not gonna cover all the fucking expense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's gonna be an ugly divorce, and then Tank is gonna have to man up and go over there and see if he can strike a deal with Eddie Hearn, Golden Boy, someone who's close to all, because I don't actually know if he's actually signing fighters yet. So he'll probably tell them to sign with Eddie to Golden Boy or Top Rank, and then he'll include him in the
Yeah,
rehab season.
Golden Boy. I think Oscar is the kind. I mean, we call him this all the time, but he's kind of the horror of everybody else. He'll do it. He'll be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Tank, good, finally made it this side of the street, buddy." You know, he'll go that direction because we know how Oscar is. But yeah, when I saw that he tried, and then of course, and I mean, look, to some degree, I get what he's trying to do. Well, I mean, I should say I understand what he's trying to do, and to some degree, it's working because what went through all boxing media, all of the fucking, the websites, all of the Instagram accounts and everything. Oh shit, Tank is leaving 2025. You know what I'm saying? Now, for all I know, these fucking boxing media outlets didn't really believe it, but they're going to report it, of course, because they get some clicks. I get it. Totally understandable. And it's worth at least talking about that we could call his bluff. We can pretty much call Tank's bluff. He's not going to leave the fucking sport. I mean, shit, just think about his legal fees, like all the shit that he's been going through, right? With like the house arrest and everything that was going through. Did he pay all that already? Like, I mean, are those debts already paid off, or is that why he's fucking broke? Because there's where it all went.
The fucking car that he hit that had the pregnant girl in it. Has he paid that debt off? We know he has to pay something there. I want to say there was a pregnant woman and like 2 other people maybe in that car. Like he hit a car full of people that they hit and run. The one where he hit and then he took off. So no, I don't. Hey, look, what a home wrecker too. I got to say this, man. What a fucking home wrecker. The guy goes over there and makes Leonard Ellerbe fucking divorce his wife, Floyd Mayweather, right? These two have been together for 20 fucking years. He's like, divorce her, you're not coming with me. And I don't want the kids. Fuck it, I'll leave the kids. I'm leaving her. I'm coming to you, hun. Not only a month later, he kicks that chick. He's like, oh, man. She's like Sharon Stone on Casino, eh? Leonard Ellerbe's walking up the hallways of some crack hotel right now. In 3 weeks, he went through all the money and all the drugs. They found him dead in the back alley. Like, what the fuck happened to Leonard? Go!
No, you don't think he's gonna crawl back to
fuck no, that's what I want. Like that's what I wanted to say, bro. I don't usually disagree with Mr. Glazier. That's his last name, right? Glazier?
Yeah.
Rick Glazier. I usually don't disagree with what he says, but I gotta say it's hard to see me. It's hard to believe that Leonard's going to find his way back to the PBC. The reason why is he's too much money. Unless he comes with a fucking serious attitude adjustment and price adjustment on what he thinks he deserves to be the face of PBC, he ain't shit, bro. He didn't even last 3 months as the CEO of whatever fucking promotional company. Tank, what is it? Tank Promotions? I don't know. He's a Tank, so it's probably Tank Promotions. I mean, come on, he couldn't get the Lomachenko fight. He hasn't nailed one fight for Tank. Seriously, the Ryan Garcia, he got that one for him. But since Tank became the face, since that night where they did so much success, without Oscar, have you been successful? Huh, Leonard? Without Oscar in the room, have you been successful?
Yeah.
Oscar's like, Oscar's.
Yeah.
Can't wait. He's gonna be like, Leonard.
He skipped the last week. He decided to skip it. He was just like, I don't know what the fuck he said. Some stupid shit like, oh, there's just so much negativity on the internet, and I'm just gonna have to skip it. This fucking some dumb shit. It was stupid as hell. Some reasoning, some retarded ass reasoning. Like,
well, he should like. He should clap at Leonard on this Thursday one because Leonard was always nice to him in the media, so might as well get some get back.
Exactly, might as well. Please, Oscar, if you're watching this, I know you're not, but if you're listening, by all means, you have our blessing. Please have a nice clapback at when Mr. Leonard Ellerbe, because
you left your wife and your kids, man.
For the mistress.
The mistress left town.
And then the mistress dumped him because, of course, he was gonna. That's what they fucking do. They wreck the home and then see if you really want to be with them. And then as soon as you move in with them, they're like, no, let's break up. And then now it's like, shit, well, you just made me break up my family and the kids. Now we're going to have a divorce. We're going to have a custody battle over the kids for you, bitch. It's gonna be one of those kind of things.
That was a good one, Miguel.
It's gonna be one of those things like, damn, you made me split the fucking house. We had to sell the house and split the proceeds.
I
You know
mean,
how
he
it,
did though. He seriously did. That was a
yes,
big
so did.
breakup, bro. And
Yeah,
then fucking
almost as if it was a bluff. He's like, let me see if this fucker really would leave his wife. Oh shit, you left? Oh fuck, my bad. Yeah, I
yeah, I
didn't.
didn't want you that bad.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
was
really want you.
playing. I
If you
was
do it for
playing.
me, that was it. I didn't realize you were gonna really, separate from your fucking wife of 12 years or 13 years, or whatever the fuck it was.
And then
Uh,
Calvin, he's like, he's my son. I've been with him since he was a young man. He used to sleep in my house. Da 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 da. You're gone.
yeah, real fast.
Oh my god. What? I didn't get paid? Fuck out of here. You're fired.
Yeah,
Fuck, man. Cold world. Cold world. That we'll
it is.
see.
Hey, when
We'll
money's
see.
involved, it is a cold fucking world.
You know?
A lot of money's involved, I should say. But yes, we'll see how things go because well, we're gonna see how what did they say March, right? That they postponed it to March, the Roach and Tank fight.
Now,
So
did you watch that press conference?
not in its entirety. I just saw the clips.
So they're friends. They're sparring partners. Yeah. They fought each other multiple times in the amateurs. I guess I want to say for 2 times they seen each other, but they know each other. Tank tried to make it a little he was trying to bring like the streets in. He was like, Baltimore D. First, he wanted to bring streets in, right? He was like,
Right.
Baltimore DC
Yes, I did see that.
guys always had an issue. When I was in jail, I was like, uh-oh, here we go, about to get gang related right now. Then Tank thought of his marketing and was like, oh no, I don't want to get into that. So then he took it back to boxing. But yeah, at first I was like, dude, Tank, don't do it, man. You're gonna put a fucking target on your back. You start going Baltimore ninjas are better than DC ninjas, however they like to call each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that beef. And now I'm glad he was real smart about pulling that back. But Roach definitely had sparring partner vibes, dude. Like like he was very is humble, submissive, maybe, right? Like, yeah, he did beat me. You know what I'm saying? He beat me.
Okay.
Okay, dude, all right, he beat you. What the fuck? Are you happy about, you know what I mean? Like, why don't you say, man, fuck you. We were little, motherfucker. Like, what are you going to do
Yeah.
now? You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. No, they're just like, very like, yeah, he's big bro. That is big bro.
Mm.
Big bro helping me out. I don't like it. I don't like
Too
it, nigga. I
respectful.
ain't like, yes,
Mm.
yes. Gives a fuck about what the amateurs. Get in his face and push the little motherfucker. Say, yeah, but you're fucking brain dead now. Can you hear yourself? You can't even make a complete sentence, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Pick something with them. Let's get under his skin a little, What's gonna happen? You're gonna get knocked out? You're gonna get fucking knocked out anyways. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Let's make a fight out of it. So I didn't like the whole attitude of Roach. He seemed very sparring partnerish. Like,
Yeah.
you want
Very,
to
very
make a million?
Munguia, very Munguia versus
Yeah, want to
like
make
Matt.
$1 million? Yeah, I want to make $1 million.
Like just pretend you hate me. Okay. Yeah, you beat me up, Tank, when we were kids.
And then Tank has got funny. I know he was raised just by his mom, but did you see his call out at Jake Paul? I sent it to you.
You did send it to me, but I mean, I don't. I just saw
He
the
has this.
headline.
He has some weird body language sometimes. He's like, "What's up, Jake Paul?
Yeah.
What's up?" He hella turns his head, bro. It's like, Tank, dude, bro. Oh my god, is this guy straight? What the fuck? What's up, Jake? Want to fight?
Want to have an exhibition fight, buddy?
Just start
I
snapping the
just saw the
fingers. I
headline.
mean, what the fuck?
Oh gosh, like those dudes from In Living Color, like, hey,
Yeah,
man.
yes, that's
Like,
exactly what I was thinking about. The Wayans brothers.
yeah, exactly. David Allen Grant too. Oh shit. I hope we didn't just date ourselves with that fucking TV show. We're like, what? What are these fucking old men talking about? What's In Living Color? Like, go look for it, guys. Yes. So that was interesting. I like the fact that you brought up the Jake Paul call out because one of the other story we have on deck here is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Oh
has
yeah.
claimed he has now been approached by about potentially fighting Jake Paul next. For some reason, my camera feels like it wants to go out of focus here, and we're almost back. All right. So yeah, we've been talking about this. There's been a lot of rumblings about this. I think this was a post I saw maybe 5 days ago or something like that. Um, we've been talking about it, Jake. If you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, take the fight. Chavez, if you're listening, accept the goddamn fight. Do it for Cinco de Mayo weekend for free on Netflix, and we'll see who the in the face of celebrity boxing, I suppose, is. And see what kind of viewership you get, because chances are we're going to see Canelo that weekend as well on pay-per-view. People are going to have to pay to see him. Well, let's see who people tune in to fight there. But now, again, this is just a preliminary talks. This is just Chavez admitting that, I have been approached about this. But what are the chances, do you think, that we're actually going to see this fight? I mean, forget Single of my weekend. That's just me throwing, spitballing. But the probability of this fight actually going down, what do you think?
It's a his name is in the hat, so we have a chance here, right? Um, what I like about it also is it's putting pressure on Canelo. I don't think Canelo liked that news about the Chavez showdown, maybe Cinco de Mayo, or because I want to say that was in the article about the call out. And immediately later on, I don't know if you caught it, but all of a sudden negotiations with Terrence Crawford seem to be up again. Where there's
Yeah, the rumor.
yeah, the rumor that now Canelo's looking at Crawford for maybe um Cinco de Mayo, and then Canelo's like, and you know what? Maybe I get revenge for Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake, at the very least, the him and Chavez fight got Canelo at least looking at either taking Jake out himself or fucking with his Cinco de Mayo holiday, right? You know Canelo don't like to be played with, bro. We know that. You want to take my holiday? How about we just fight, bro? How about that? We'll just fight on Cinco de Mayo.
I'll
So
take your fucking liver. How about that?
Yeah, yeah. So we might win either way, dude. We might get him fighting Terrence Crawford, which I'm sorry, Jake and Julio, but that totally bumps your guys' fight. If His Excellency is able to land Crawford, Canelo, that's the king of that night. You better pick another fucking date. But if not, then maybe Canelo and Jake Paul get a little bit closer. Even if they do that fight to maybe do a what would it be, a duel, double fight. Jake Paul take on double header. Jake Paul take on Chavez. Canelo take on his shadow, just to see, just to build up their fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That's kind of funny that then all of a sudden the rumors come out of fucking Canelo and Crawford. Although I think I have since heard that Canelo's like, nah, those are just rumors. Well,
and
somebody started those rumors, motherfucker.
And I like the one where he said, "Maybe I get Tyson's revenge," because now he's looking at you too,
I don't like
Jake.
to turn down business. It's like, oh, okay, you know what that means. We got
I
that.
heard I could buy another horse if I fight you. Let's do this. Fuck yeah.
Exactly. Like I can open up a horse track with the money I make. Okay, let's do this. Why not? Okay, so let's finish up with one of these stories that I hate to finish off on a bad note, but god damn it. What was supposed to be Israel Madrimov fighting two fights in a very close proximity to one another, fighting on the undercard of Usyk and Fury, and then fighting Vergil Ortiz Jr. in February. Now that's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and read what the information is. Let me pull it up here of the reasoning behind it. Let's see, where the hell did I leave it? God damn it! I had it up. Supposedly, it's bronchitis. That's the story that they're going to go with. That there's having some issue here. It is, I found it. This is I believe it's I don't know if it's Twitter or Instagram, but it says this is Turkey. His Excellency Turkey. I can never pronounce the last name, but His Excellency. It was confirmed by doctors this evening, and this was like several days ago, that Israel Madrimov is suffering from acute bronchitis and has to withdraw from his December 21st fight with Bohachuk. British fighter Ismail Davis will replace Madrimov, who will now rest and recover, fully recover, I'm sure, for his scheduled fight February 22nd with Vergil Ortiz Jr. So, there was a lot of hype behind this because people were coming out of all sorts of corners giving props to Madrimov. Back in August, he fights Crawford. In December, he's going to fight Bohachuk. And then February, he's going to fight Vergil Ortiz. Holy fuck, murderer's row of who's who. This is just going to go through this shit like I don't give two fucks. I'm just going to Terminator my ass through this shit. Well, maybe that Vergil Ortiz fight is going to be too risky to lose out on should this fight with Bohachuk be a little harder than he probably thought, or if he comes out of it, with some sort of injury that could potentially jeopardize that fight with Vergil Ortiz in February. So now he has bronchitis. Now, who am I to say that I don't believe it? But it sure sounds pretty damn fucking fishy and quite convenient. But now we're not going to have Madrimov and Bohachuk on the December 22nd card or 21st card, undercard of Usyk and Fury 2. What do you make of this, dude?
I would like to revamp that card too to see how if that fight takes away from the Usyk, because remember when they lost, what was it, Ortiz and Zoo off the Crawford.
Yes.
Remember that fight card kind of dropped a little. It was like, man, it was a stellar card before that. So I wonder how that affects the Usyk Fury rematch card. Look, I'm not mad that the fight was postponed. I like Bohachuk, but he's not.
I don't think it's postponed. I think they're.
Excuse me.
Putting another guy.
You know what? All right. Yeah, you're right. I'm not mad that it was canceled.
Yeah,
I'm not. We're getting a much better fight with Ortiz versus Madrimov.
Yeah.
Madrimov. So you can't be mad at that. I think if you go back and listen to last week's show, we kind of were doubting that this guy was going to take these 3 fights back to back to back. We've seen his excellency try this. It didn't work. He tried it again. It didn't work. So, it sounds good that you're going to have these guys fight frequently. This is boxing. Injuries happen in the ring. Injuries happen in training. Sometimes you do not want to jeopardize $1 million situations. That's what Ortiz versus Madrimov is, and not Madrimov versus Bohachuk. And that's why you scratch Bohachuk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although that fight would definitely have been awesome to watch, of course.
Yes.
If especially as I don't know where on the fight card it would have landed on the Fury and Usyk. I gotta say, for some reason I say Fury Usyk. Usyk is the champ. Usyk and Fury rematch. Wherever it would have landed on that fight card, it would have been pretty dope to watch it anyway. That definitely would have made me watch it even more. Of course I'm going to watch it regardless, but that would have definitely have given me the tickles. I would have been like, fuck yeah, this is going to be a really, really good fight card. With that fight gone now, I'm like, I'm still going to watch it, but definitely not with the same kind of anticipation as I would have otherwise. And to some degree, we get it. It's like, I guess, granted that fight with Vergil Ortiz is a much more money fight, right? It's a bigger, high-profile fight on a high-profile card. We get it. Let's go ahead and save you for that. It was a nice gesture. It would have been badass if you actually did it, especially if he would have actually done it. If he would have fought Bohachuk, beat Bohachuk, come out unscathed, and then start prepping for a fight with Vergil Ortiz. But of course, reality kicked in at some point. Somebody kicked in. And it's like, oh yeah, Madrimov has bronchitis all of a sudden. Okay, time to pull out. Who knows how legitimate that is? Maybe he really has it, but it's a really small case of it, and he can probably be okay with it. But kind of dampens that fight card. But like you said, in the end, we're gonna win anyway because we're gonna get the fight with Madrimov and Vergil Ortiz. No longer Vergil Ortiz and Boots, because that went fucking to the wayside. But I would.
Boots still hasn't given a decision on this fucking guy. Still don't know if he wants to be a junior middleweight or a welterweight.
Do you? Which? I mean, okay. So I know you're not too. You don't hold Boots in high regards per se. Which fight would you have been more excited for? If it was Boots and Vergil, or now Vergil and Madrimov?
Oh, Boots and Vergil.
Yeah.
because that's a like a that's a what do you say? That's both of their coming out party, right? There would have been a star that night. Madrimov, he's good for the sport, but he's not going to be no crossover star. He doesn't have the looks, he doesn't have the charisma, right? He's just he'll be something for diehards. But I don't see him. I don't see him transitioning into no superstar, no Klitschko, nothing like that. And Klitschko wasn't even that big of a star. But you understand what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
yes, Boots versus Vergil would have been the ideal fight. Right now, just Boots fighting anyone.
Making his mind
Just
up.
Boots making a fucking decision
Yeah.
would be cool right now.
Mm. So
Incredible that a guy kind of blamed the PBC for stalling his career. You know, oh, when I get over here, now things are gonna work. And it seems to be you. It's not. It
mm,
wasn't the other guys.
yeah, I mean, it probably was the other guys too, but you're leading us to believe that it wasn't just them. That it kind
Yeah.
of was also you. What if Madrimov comes in and puts on a performance of a fucking lifetime and beats Virgil or something? You don't think that makes him a star? A Klitschko type superstar?
With the diehards, it will. But as far as
But on such a high profile card, like even still like on a high profile card like that everybody's gonna most likely watch, you think it'll still be just for the diehards?
maybe for Rehad season, he might become a star. But in America, is what I'm kind of talking about. Where Boots Ennis and Ortiz have better
Mhm.
chances of being stars here, it's going to be a lot harder for Madrimov to be a star here. But like I said, we are entering a new phase in boxing where, bro, the fucking mecca of the sport might be Saudi Arabia here in a few years. You know, that
Mhm.
we our kids might not even be talking about New York and Las Vegas. They might be talking about, when are we going to go to Saudi, which is kind of scary. You know, I don't want to do that big ass plane flight.
Right.
Um, but I mean that's where it's leaning to, and so yeah, I don't know what the future is going to be like. Interested, but also kind of sad. Kind of sad
Mhm.
that America's losing this sport because we kind of are. You
Mhm.
know, DAZN's not an American platform. They're from out of the country. We're only going to have Jake Paul fighting on Netflix
Mm.
for us. It's scary
Yeah, it's a
or
damn
sad.
shame.
It's sad. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad. Yep.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, that wraps up our show. That's all that we had to talk about. I'm sure next week we'll have plenty more to talk about. But wanting to go over the zone fight, of course, the main event with Paro and Hitchens, and of course also Espinoza Rabesi, and lastly Navarrete and Valdez. In addition to all the things we talked about, there's gonna be some boxing next week. I guess worth watching. Nothing crazy, of course. There's gonna be some fights on DAZN. There's gonna be some fights on ESPN Plus. I believe, on top of everything else. I believe Jaime Munguia is fighting on the 14th. Yay, I guess
Nice.
he's
Yeah.
back. We'll see him back in the ring. So worth catching. I think the 14th, DAZN has a nice card with this dude, Alexis Rocha. He's a recognizable name, worth watching on DAZN. So there's some fights on this weekend. Definitely worth watching, y'all. There's even a UFC card, just FYI, on ESPN Plus. But that pretty much does it. Thank y'all very, very much. I gotta go to bed now because I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow to head back the road on the road, hit the road, I should say, to get back home to Vegas. So thank y'all for watching. We will see you guys next week. Thank y'all once more. Take care and peace.
Like